My God, that was awesome.
That was hilarious.
Oh,
Oh my God.
I was like all at once
Oh,
drowning and being like delivered
Oh,
by
that was
the
great.
water. That was
I don't
awesome.
know how
That
many
was
takes
great.
that
was
was.
so good.
That
my
took a
That made
while
me
to
so
do.
happy.
A little bit.
I loved it.
That
I
was
loved it.
great.
Very nice. Thanks for doing
Oh
that.
yeah, I
Yeah,
like
I
the
loved it.
beat, the new beat on the intro song.
I
That
can
was
send you the
great.
full version if you want like
Terrific.
a
Oh yeah,
Well, happy 52.
yeah. Hey,
Happy
that was a
Happy
great way to kick it
Is
off.
this
52.
identically
That was
like 1 year? Like what's the
Is
day?
it? It's our
52 episodes. I think so. Yeah,
Fifth year.
because
Have we skipped
because
any?
I had to travel during our second episode, and that would have been next week. So yeah, this is
Yep. And I was just coming back from being sick with COVID, but I did the show. I did the show. The only
Yeah.
time I got COVID, but I did the show. So there you go.
this is
Hello, everyone.
Yeah,
Hello,
so
everyone out there. And
52
I'm
episodes.
cheating. I'm watching Ryan Hall, y'all.
Haha, 52 episodes. Weekly show. 52
Yeah.
weeks in a year.
All new?
All new.
I
Well,
changed.
no, he changed. I
yeah.
copied it. I copied your thing tonight for the
All
first
new
time.
has changed hands.
Yeah.
Of the 1-year-old weekly show.
Yeah. It's the
Yeah.
1-year-old weekly show where we just, I don't remember what I put. Let me see.
Well, and to fill everyone in, because I have a ton of new people
Oh, yeah.
potentially watching tonight, just want to let
Cool.
everyone know this is our weekly panel show where we are unscripted, free form, just chatting like you might do in a bar or your living room or a cafe or whatever. We're
Yes.
just shooting the breeze.
Waiting room
Anything can
outside
come
of an
up.
orgy.
That's right.
Shooting the
Anywhere.
shit.
You
Shooting the
know,
shit.
the application line for your local cult, whatever it is.
Sure.
All right. Well,
Is it
maybe
like,
I'll
are you
put
reading
my-
off
I'll
the
put one
teleprompter
for
right
that.
now?
Or you're just trying to get a spot as a longshoreman.
Why do you have
on
more
a
than
boat.
normal viewers? What happened? Did I miss
I've
something?
been getting a lot. Been getting a lot of subs.
That's
I
nice.
got,
Well, you did
the
a
way
great
I know.
show the other night. Clickbait.
And you're not sharing them? Is that what's happening?
Oh yeah, that was great. Oh my God, that was a good show. But the way I know is I'm doing my show and there's a bunch of new people in the chat who aren't mods. And so I'm like, new guys, right? That's how I identify all the new people. So I had like 10 new ones the other night. Oh, I forgot to check. I might be at 500 mods.
500 miles.
Crazy. Nobody else is doing this.
This
This is the most unique
everybody,
thing
my
on
shit.
YouTube. I'm
Uh,
sorry. It
It
is.
is. You did yes, you did. Well, you're very
Nobody
creative.
ever thought to do that.
No,
do
and
that.
you're very creative.
Facts.
You're very creative with everything. So, I admire that. I like it. I think it's great.
But yeah, so there was one guy who tuned into the show a few weeks ago and was like, I don't know what the fuck this is. The Majority Report seems to think I should be watching this. You're looking at a map for some socialist you're not even going to vote for. And they were just rambling. And I was like, okay, hold on. Not
Oh,
every
my goodness.
episode's the same, buddy.
It's offensive
Relax.
to me that they got triggered by something you did and not something I did.
Well,
I
they said-
try to make people upset and they're mad about you looking at a map. Like, come on.
they said,
Well,
if you want some honest feedback, I'm 10 minutes in and I don't know what the fuck this is. And they were like losing it.
No,
I
we
was
don't.
like, you're only 10 minutes in? Come on.
I've got new people also, and I do have to explain that this is my week of my Wednesday nights of having fun and levity, and it's not about the climate crisis or anything. Just sometimes we talk about politics, sometimes we talk about climate, sometimes we talk about just nothing, whatever we want. We talk about Matt, and he's a cartoonist and he's amazing. We talk about Jake, what he's doing, and Andrea's work. But it's not scripted, and we have fun, and we like each other.
It's not scripted, except Matt says the same thing every time the show starts. This is an unscripted show. I'm going to say it the same way every
That's the
time.
scripted part.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah, likewise.
Yeah.
I'm happy we're all here. This is
Anybody
neat.
reflect over the last year? Have any highlights?
Well, my
off
reflection
the
was
cuff.
actually about what you went through in South Carolina with the power deal. You did very well with all that from the hurricane last week, now that they're becoming a weekly event.
Yeah. I mean, we learned a lot from that. We're going to be like more than prepared going forward.
Good.
I seriously am researching solar powered backup generators because
Oh, good.
I'm looking around at all these people with their backup generators that run off gas when there's no fucking gas in the town.
No.
And I'm just like,
I have a
Huh.
Delta EcoFlow Delta backup, and it's always powered up to if I need it, and it's 2400 watts. It'll power my refrigerator. When the power went off this summer,
what I
I
need,
was
yeah.
laying there watching because the internet's staying on, so I was with the fan, and because I have backup batteries everywhere. I mean, I guess I am a sort of a technophobe, even though I know it's not the greatest thing, but it is for my house.
I hate technology. I will not get a smart fridge.
Well, I don't have a smart fridge. I have to plug it into the thing.
Do not comply.
No.
But seriously, do you have a high? I mean, we can talk about
Yeah.
last week if you want, but
Yes, I would like to because it's leading into tonight and what's happening down there in Florida.
Fair. I do have a highlight, or at least a lesson learned from 1 year. It's been a crazy year. Been talking about how to influence politics where we can. We had finally a former U.S. president face some criminal consequences. We're on the eve of an incredibly important election. And looking at the totality of it, I think what I've learned is that if you get an infected eye and all your friends are saying, go to the doctor, please, this looks like something that ought to be taken care of, the thing to do is really just put it off as long as you can until it becomes a much bigger problem.
Okay,
good point.
but we watched it become a much bigger problem.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Real concern for a minute.
It was painful to watch it.
Yes.
But when you put the eye patch on, though, now that was tits. Oh, sorry. Is that an old-fashioned term? Am I not allowed to say that?
Sandy,
I think it's a great.
You got to
term.
get out. Get out of here. Get out of
Shit,
here.
my camera's doing it again. I just shrunk.
I think.
Oh, fuck. I hate this thing. I just
Andrew,
shrunk.
What do you think, Andrew?
Damn camera.
You got ramp snacks.
I
You got ramp snacks.
Oh.
Oh.
I got to look at my local gas station and see if they have that stuff. Is it good for you or something? Like, why is it so?
No.
It's powered by rap.
Yeah. What
Why is it
flavor?
called rap?
Oh, I'm so jealous.
Oh my
Dill
god.
Pickle jalapeno. Oh.
That seems like something you would see on Idiocracy.
Like
Why are you
my
so mad?
My
this is
camera's
excellent.
Idiocracy.
This is excellent. Pickle and
Put it in your
jalapeno.
mouth, and your tongue will thank you.
Andrew, any highlights?
Track me, camera.
About what?
I'm just loving watching Sandy. This is so fun.
This fucking
Are you
stupid
talking about the
camera
trip?
never does it right on your show, and now I look like a shrunken head.
Do you have any highlights from the last year?
Hang on, I gotta fix this.
I think last
I'll
week's
back.
episode was my favorite episode. So that's my highlight.
Solid episode, I gotta say.
I don't know. I have some criticism about that episode. It was a 2-up and then a 1-up for a while.
Sleep
Yeah. But we made money.
Yeah,
We made bank
true.
on that. Are you kidding me?
That's true.
Did we actually make $50? Was that?
Oh yeah, I was counting.
Oh,
I was like 64, I think, in the end of it.
look, we've cracked this nut. All we have to do is threaten to eat something, and on camera, and if that's what motivates people. Oh no,
We're breaking the fucking fifth wall over here.
Oh, now we can't. Oh, you're muted.
I got it. I'm not.
Okay.
I think my little cannabis capsule started to hit me from the clinic. Yeah.
So, Matt, what were your criticisms? Let me hear them.
Yeah. What are your thoughts?
I just said them. I was like, it was two up, which is not much of a panel show, not much of a group show. That's a pair show.
Well, that's not
there
our
was
fault.
one point where Jake
That's
ran to
someone
the
else
grocery
you can blame
store.
for that one. You can blame someone else
Hey,
for that.
remember when Dan from the internet was on and he went to the store and was like coming in through his car and stuff like that?
Yeah. First of
at
all,
least make it man on the street style.
I don't have the same powers as Dan from the internet. Second, I tried. I did try, but I couldn't connect. AT&T
Last week's show was avant-garde comedy. You will never see a show like that again.
All right. Well,
and dare I say, and I know
Letterhack,
you may be upset about this to hear it. I think it was better than the pretending we shut the stream off stream. I think it was better.
Oh, so you were faking a bad pair show?
Yeah.
Okay.
I see.
I thought it was a solid pair show.
So you worked
as far
at
as pair shows go.
I tried extremely hard to get Jake to go to the gas station. It was very difficult. He was he was not, he didn't want to go. It took like 30 minutes to get him out of here.
Hey, an
episode's
an episode.
Awesome.
No judgment. No judgment.
Me and Matt to go to a gas station. What does it take, Matt? 20 minutes,
give you
30 minutes
later. Right now, no. I don't think the gas station's open.
No, I mean it, but to get there, it takes at least 20 minutes for me.
No, you know what's funny? I have 4 gas stations within like 2 miles of the house. It's ridiculous.
Wow.
Every time they clear out trees and they're building something, I'm like, that's going to be a gas station. And then it is. And then you know what people say around here? They go, have you been to the new Quick Stop? Have you been to the new Sphinx?
Like
they're
event.
like, it's awesome. And I'm like,
whoa,
what the fuck?
Do they put any kind of battery charging stations in these stations at all where you live?
No.
No, God. No.
I mean, not that I've seen.
Come on, no.
I do think Oligarch has potential. If y'all didn't see
that, may have been one of the best parts of that, because that was just bizarre, strange.
Yeah.
What the hell? Like concocted in a fucking laboratory in 1997. Very strange stuff went on last week. You missed it. You really missed it.
I did miss it. I didn't join either.
It was Avant. I don't know about guard. Just kidding. I don't really know what those words mean. Okay. My highlights from the last year?
Yes.
A lesson I learned was drinking for more than 2 cups just makes for excessive dishes the next day. It's a hassle.
Fair.
That's
fair.
That's pretty intense.
But the whole pickle and peanut butter sandwich.
Oh, that was excellent.
That was good stuff.
That went on for a while. I think that was pretty good. I think the one time
that was all me.
Yeah, the one time Jake ate like a really bad
like a horrible expired, like it was put in a can and then the can was never properly sealed.
Ingredients were like on his desk. He's like, I can make one right now. Here, I got pickles. Here's the peanut butter.
Yeah. You know,
I never did it. I ate my pickles, but I did not eat the peanut butter.
Oh, Sandy is holding out.
No, I'm holding out. Yeah.
I think at 1 year we should declare things about the show. Like every year that goes by, we declare something new about the show. I'll suggest making the pickle and peanut butter sandwich the official snack of Left Past 10.
Yeah, we have some good lore. We've got some good canon stuff. Like we've been really good at putting together some canon. And what I really like is when a guest comes on the show, like for the second time, I get the impression that they're like ready. They're kind of galvanized. So like we have a whole bunch of people we could bring on for a second time and just watch them hit the ground running, because the first time can be a little disorienting.
Oh my gosh, poor Ben when he was with us. Yes. Oh my gosh.
They're not ready for how odd we're gonna be, you know?
No.
And
it's just like aggressively, unwelcomingly odd. Like, I'm not gonna pause the weirdness. I saved this weirdness up all week for my friends. I'm not gonna pause it just because we have company.
Yeah.
I do wish I had made it for the Vanguard. I'm sorry I did not get to be with them.
Which guest do you think has been thrown the most?
Thrown the most?
Yeah.
Maybe Ben Dixon. Well, he was cool with it though.
Oh, he was cool. But,
as much as I enjoyed him, Antonio seemed freaked out.
Antonio in the
that was like one of our first ones.
Yeah, we got to bring him back. He won't be freaked out.
Oh, he was lovely, and yeah, I think he gets it.
Yeah,
what do you think?
He gets a lot of it.
I don't know.
Antonio gets everything. He should have 4 PhDs. He gets it all. He does.
Yeah, who do you think would be the most freaked out if we brought him on and just did our normal thing? Like, if just of the whole internet, if we could get him, I think David Dole.
David Dole.
David Dole. Yes.
Nomiki Kongst. I think.
I
think she would be able to handle this.
I think she would be fine.
You think so? You think?
I think so.
No, wait. It's Nomiki, or is it
Nomiki?
Nomiki. Yeah. You don't think she'd be freaked out?
No.
Nah. She'd probably giggle a lot. Me and her would probably giggle a lot together. Yeah.
This whole show has the vibe of 2 a.m. at a slumber party.
Yeah.
That's a good description, dude.
Half the time I'm in pajamas.
It's accurate.
Yeah. In honor of the anniversary.
All right. I'm not tonight. I actually have jeans on. I literally have jeans on.
Changed it up.
Yeah, I changed it up because I was.
So wait, let me get this straight. You're wearing jeans inside at 10:30 p.m.
Yeah, I didn't change. I was out. I had to drive all the way up to Buffalo, an hour and a half, and all the way back an hour and a half, and I did not change.
No. Next week, Jackson White on the show.
Oh,
let me make sure everything's good on my calendar because he's cool as hell. Next,
can we call the next show and onward season 2?
Yes,
like this is the season 1 finale. And
season
2. He's gonna be good.
Good
the
call.
Season 1 finale. We got to by the end of this. We got to figure out how to end it on a cliffhanger.
Okay. And then I've got to pick a guest. I got to get some kind of climate-y person on for sure.
Trying to think of who would be.
I'm gonna pick a guest.
Oh, okay. If for some reason we had David Pakman on this show, he'd be like, 5 minutes in, like, can I leave?
Yeah.
David Pakman.
I would say no.
I don't think he could handle it.
He's got too much starch in his collar.
If you hear this, I don't think you can handle this.
I don't think you can handle it. Sorry, Pakman.
David Pakman.
I think he could.
But Andrea will be in charge of when you can leave.
I think Conan Neutron did very well.
Oh, it was like he was part of the cast.
And I think he may have been apprehensive, but
the movie
did
guy?
Great. Yeah, he did great.
Yeah.
It was great. Yeah.
He was.
Yeah, I want to have him back.
I'm going to think of somebody. I'm definitely
all right. Ben Meiselas.
Think of somebody.
Ben Meiselas from Midas Touch. No. Wait. Michael Popak from Midas Touch would have no idea what to do.
Unless we brought up something legal for him to analyze.
Oh, yeah. But even then, like, if we were like, hey, how best could you go about suing?
Don't make me spit my coffee, Lady Ben.
Wait, can you put it up again? The ultimate cliffhanger is obviously pretending to have a heart attack.
Like if we all just go, my arm tingles.
Listen, I'm at the age. Well, actually, my arm does, but I did go to the doctor about my shoulder, and that remember when I wrecked it in June, bringing that heavy garbage can to my picking it up to my truck to go to the. Well, it took all summer to get better, and then this trip to Oregon fucked it all up.
No.
Nope. But I went to the doctor yesterday. I got a shot. It's not the rotator cuff. It's just a strain, and it will heal. and I don't have to go
that's
to
great.
physical therapy because I can do all of it at home.
Good.
That's wonderful.
That's really good because every other thing fucking hurts. So, that just adds that to the mess. Well, I won't be doing that again to go to the dump.
So that's the thing is Jackson White will be our first guest of season 2. Check this out.
excited.
So this is what I'm talking about.
Hi, hot dog.
Do you know Hot Dog?
No.
How's it going? I know Hot Dog.
No. Hi, hot
I'm
dog.
familiar with the concept.
Yeah.
We
Hot
have
Dog and
Go
I go way
back.
back.
Alex Hale is with us. Yes.
I haven't talked to Hot Dog in years. How's it going?
Hold on.
Alex Hale is
God
from
damn
the
it. Here we go.
Climate Crisis Club on X, and there is a spaces every Saturday all day with people from all over the world that talk about all kinds of issues. It's quite amazing. I put on my headset, go out and work in the garden, and listen to people from everywhere.
Oh,
It's
hell
just-
yeah.
Yeah, they
That's
invited me
super
in, and I'm
relaxing.
part of it. Well, I learned too. It's really very cool.
You know,
Cool.
somebody got-
LT9K brings up
Hey, buddy.
interesting highlight or a good highlight. LT9K Day, February
Yeah,
7th.
that's
So
right.
Yes.
that's a permanent holiday around
Yeah.
these
Oh, yeah.
parts. That's a
That's
big
part of
deal.
the left past 10.
But what
canon,
if we
sure.
don't land on Wednesday? Do we just wait? Like season 7, we might get.
You
the
just
next one?
have to do a show and give the man credit. That's all.
Yeah, I think so.
I do every. I have a question, Matt. Did you really get a $500 super chat the other day?
No, it's
Oh.
$499.99.
Oh shit! That would
Look
pay
at this,
for
though.
that would pay for cat food and litter for me for
Paying for
months.
StreamYard. 52 for
there you go.
52. Gotta run soon.
Nice.
Another attack me.
Dang.
All right, so who's gonna match that in my chat?
Gotta get my kiddo. Jake asked how he did. It's his first year, and he ranked 3rd in the district for javelin, which sounds epic to me. 107 feet and 7 inches. I don't think I could do that.
Wow.
Will be
not bad.
handy to
That's
have around
wild.
for the zombie apocalypse. Have a great show. Thank you,
Absolutely,
Dave
Dave.
There
Marvin.
you go.
When I
We gotta
saw
go over
100
Dave's house during the apocalypse.
I like Dave
107
already.
feet.
This
I
I
couldn't
could use him in
eyeball
my army
107
in
feet.
Bannerlord.
We're living in the
He's a
zombie
genuine
apocalypse.
Battanian wild.
And we're living in the goddamn zombie apocalypse. Listen, just understand what people are saying about HARP and weather modification. I've been obsessed with it for every show for the last 3 shows and on X and trying to discredit, talk about it with people. Ugh.
What are
called
they
Twitter, by the way.
saying? What are they saying HARP is? What is it? What is this supposedly?
Are we talking about the beer?
It's rays that that go in the ionosphere to measure.
Why are they
shit.
calling HARP? Why is it called HARP?
Oh, it's
the instrument?
let me read it to you because I don't want to.
I'll be right
Like,
back.
because there are people going, "Have you heard of HARP?" And I'm like,
yeah, because
no.
they don't
What
know
do you
what
mean?
it's from the University of Alaska, and it is a way to measure. Hang on.
So it's a legitimate thing that people are
Yes.
trying to say is
Yes.
actually
It's
a
the
weather
High
machine.
Frequency Active Oral Research Program at the University of Alaska in Fairbanks. It researches the ionosphere, the highest ionized parts of the Earth's atmosphere. That's what it is. And the University of Alaska has an open house every year where you can go there and actually see what they do. It's not changing the weather. And they operate at frequencies
course not. I
between
mean-
2.8 megahertz and 10 megahertz. It is let's see if I
Why are we acting like hurricanes in October are new? Isn't
What's
like
the
hurricane
intensity?
they're
season
not
from
new.
August to November or something like that? Anyway,
I can explain in
Hi,
2
Gene.
sentences. Because the intensity is the fault of climate change denialists, and so
Right.
climate change denialists are spreading conspiracy theories
Right.
about Democrats so that it simply seems like everybody's finger pointing. That's
They
what's
can't
happening.
handle science. That's the problem. They don't understand science, and it's much easier to make these things into conspiracies or things that it's easier to have a boogeyman.
Yeah, and they get promoted
Gene.
so that there's chaos. So that the actual responsibility when it is attributed to the people whose fault it is, which is Republicans for not voting for FEMA and Republicans for constantly making the climate worse. It just seems like that's politics, is you accuse the other party of doing something related to this thing that happened. It's for people, it's literally so that people who are undecided voters don't pay attention to who actually caused the problems. That's
Sarah Horton, Doomer Girl News. She says they're just repackaging the 3G conspiracy.
Yeah,
Sarah, were you on here with us? Was she on here with us, or was it my show? God, I get mixed up.
Your show.
We need to have Sarah with us. Sarah, Doomer Girl News. Great guest.
Cool. Okay.
You're coming on, Sarah.
Yeah, I mean, link me up. What the
fuck? I will.
I think that, and she just asked me if I was kidding. I'm asking this question because I need to hear these perfect responses like what Jake just said. The people who have caused it are trying to throw out bizarre. Say that again, Jake. Your 2 sentences. This is what everyone should say when they bring this shit up.
Delighted you've asked. The people who've caused it are trying to accuse others of causing it,
right?
So that it simply sounds confusing.
Yeah,
they're just hiding their guilt.
There was like opinion piece. I think it's a Wall Street Journal or something. I don't know. Maybe it's Newsweek. And it says right there, sponsored by Chevron, right? And it was like, climate change isn't as bad as you think it is. It was like, are you fucking kidding me?
That's the deep state.
How much money did you take to put that shit out there?
It's surprisingly little these days. People take very, very low amounts of money for these kinds of payouts.
Because if you get it from enough people, it adds up.
Y'all I'm talking local newspaper editors and people who take these bribes. Just so you know, your grandchildren will see how little you sold their future for. It's going to be something they're aware of. Maybe they won't be angry at you about it. Maybe they'll understand, but probably not.
And if you're under 30, you won't have grandchildren.
Yeah.
Unless you're Lauren Boebert.
I'm going to put this in the chat, a link. It's actually a good article. It's Reuters. It explains all of them. The weather modification bullshit and the
Are we talking about the space lasers?
Yeah, all of it. All of it. It's just
that's what Israel is using on Lebanon.
Sarah Leela, contact me. Send me links. Join Discord.
I got another potential guest for us.
I'm behind on the end of the world, Andrea.
Frances, that dude I've been hanging out with. He won't get it, but his lack of understanding what we're all about will be hilarious.
Is he coming on the show?
No, and I'll extend an invite, and he'll politely decline.
Well, we were all gonna go on his show, right?
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. I think that's still on. We just weren't expecting the Lord Christ to intervene, but now that that's through,
you can always expect
the Lord Christ.
Okay. To be fair, I tested that with Andrea last time.
I need you guys on Wednesdays to laugh. I really do.
Oh,
I was watching this documentary about January 6th last night, and I was like, I wish you guys were sitting in the living room watching it with me. Because
me too.
So there's a lot of them, especially on HBO now that they do like their CNN shit where they put all CNN stuff on there.
Are they?
So yeah, it's everyone's like just trying to make their streaming service live sports and CNN. It's like you're just trying to bring cable TV over to this now. It sucks. So
shit.
The key there, subscribe, watch what you want to watch, unsubscribe. Subscribe to somebody, just keep moving around, right? Don't subscribe to them all. So but they have all these January 6th things. I'll watch them pretty much just on 2X, right? It's all here's one where it's like all the Republicans that were against it. And it's like, I don't need to see this. But then there's one that is very comprehensive. And they go step by step. I can't even remember the name because there's so many of them. And they interview all of the people who they forgot were in like the in the room. They're like, get everyone out of here. And it's like, yeah, but what about the people upstairs? You forgot about them and they're trapped in here, right? And it was kind of funny. It was like lighthearted at times. Like, do you know Jason Crow of Colorado, former Army Ranger turned congressman? There's this one, I forget her name. There's this one lady who just got off the phone with her kids. She was kind of like lying to them that she was going to be okay. Don't worry, everything's fine. She's in a safe place. She's not in a safe place. And this is not why I brought this up. I'm a little off topic, but whatever. That's okay. This is our show. So she then she starts having like a genuine panic attack, but she thinks she might be having a heart attack. And she's laying on the floor in the, what do you call it? The upper, like the balcony. It's not the balcony.
Mezzanine.
Is that what it is? Like where
Good
they
pull.
were. So she's freaking out and she's talking about this. It's like an interview, right? They keep interviewing everyone. And they're interviewing her and she goes, and then I felt someone's hand on my hand. I turn around and it's Jason Crow. And he said, everything's going to be all right. And then they cut to Jason Crow and he goes, I didn't think that was actually true, but it needed to be said. And I was like dying. I was like, that motherfucker is funny.
It sounds like it's like a reality show.
Yeah.
Like,
The way they edit back and forth, I was like, this is more often than not very funny because that was
Real
a
congressman
good
of Washington.
Yeah, that was a very good edit. But then even Jason Crow was like, I wanted to go into Ranger mode. I wanted to do all these things where I was like, I'm a combatant. I know how to fight. Like, let's fucking go. And he's like, but that wasn't my role. That's not what I was supposed to be doing right then. And I thought that was very level-headed.
Credit there.
But so I'm watching this. Talk about bad faith actors. Talk about like buffoonery. There's so much footage. And you guys know, you've watched it. I've watched you watch it, right? You all know. There's so many times where these guys are like yelling at the police or saying, where are they? And it's just, I find it so difficult to take them serious. Like the combined like mob mentality, take that serious. The fact that they're all willing to be violent, take that serious. But when they start saying anything, I'm like, you're idiots. So then they're all like huddled praying. And they're like, dear Jesus, give us the strength to win on this day. And I'm like, you're not even doing that right, and this is all bullshit. And then they cut to a poster someone's carrying of Jesus Christ with a MAGA hat on.
Oh.
And I was like, now you're completely off the rails. Now it's so silly. And so I think so that's why I brought it up, because of that Jesus with the MAGA hat. So when you said the Lord Christ intervened, that's the first thing I thought of, because I just watched it last night. But it's like nothing these people said at any time was serious. They were saying, we don't want to do this. You're making us do this, like yelling at the cops.
I know it's been said, but I'd like it repeated so it's remembered. Imagine if those folks were there because they were trying to stick up for the lives of black folks. They would have been mowed down the second they sneezed in the general direction. They would have been MP5s.
If those there was one Capitol policeman who said, yeah, I had a gun, but this was not the time for that. And I was like,
these people were white, you have to understand.
I was like, these fuckers show up to college kids sitting around their campus, not doing anything, just kind of peacefully, quietly protesting, and they bum rush them and beat them up. A senior citizen professor will try and intervene. They bum rush them and beat them up. What the fuck? And then these dudes are allowed to do. There's a scene where that one cop was like smashed in a doorway between cops and rioters. And I was like, I don't know like what the law is, but in that moment, I'll kill everyone who's put me in that situation. I will just snap and go berserk.
You heard it here first.
There's no fucking way you're gonna just push me between hundreds of people and grab my gas mask and poke me in the. I will go berserk.
Do you have a gas mask?
But these guys were like, well, because he had a mask on, and they were like he was all cut up from it. But like they were like, no, we just had to sit there and endure. And I'm like,
no, you didn't.
Sounds wrong. I don't get that.
Every call on the spot. My life is in danger. I choose to live. I'm going to use deadly force. Every last one of them could have. They chose not to because, and I'm not even going harsh on them here because that's what I think that's the choice that should be made. But they chose not to because they viewed these people as American citizens and that can't interrupt them.
God bless
Problem
you,
is,
darling.
They don't think that way if you're, trying to be a decent human being. I'm not even going to say protesting for leftist stuff. It's synonymous. If you're protesting for decency, if you're trying to get the government to do something good, they won't shoot you. But if you're, they will shoot you. But if you're a right winger who's trying to tear down democracy, and you're just an insufferable prick, nobody likes eating dinner with you. You ruin the atmosphere everywhere you go.
Oh, my first husband. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, exactly. then they'll
second
treat
husband.
you like a.
One of the first things they said in the documentary, was, I forget who it was, some congressman. Might have been Adam. What's his name?
Kinzinger?
Shifty Schiff.
No,
it was a Republican.
Kinzinger. Where was this
guy?
on? Where can I say this?
Max. HBO.
Max?
So this guy rolls up to work that day, and he was like, I'd been hearing all the things that were leading up to that, and like, was kind of nervous, brought my gun to work that day or whatever. And he goes, and then I noticed, like, I couldn't help but compare how they prep for a Black Lives Matter protest versus they seem underprepared. And then later on in the documentary, like halfway through, they're like, when I called for the National Guard, they said, we're considering it. We don't know if that's the right thing to do in this case. And again, if it had been any other sort of crowd, the National Guard wouldn't have had to be called. They just would have been there beating the fuck out of people.
Do any of these documentaries mention that the cops open all the doors and let everyone inside?
Yeah, they kept saying there were these two French documentarians there, these two women.
Which cops?
And the Capitol Police.
A lot of them, yeah.
No, I mean,
it wasn't until the DC police showed up that shit got real. The DC police busted in there with batons and were like, we're fucking all of you up if you don't back off. Yeah. But they knew they were outnumbered.
Shit. I didn't see it.
So these French documentarians are in there, and they kept interviewing them too. And they're like, the cops are like trying to reason with them. The cops are like, you guys, we asked you to leave. You got to back up. We're not letting you pass this point. And it's like they have guns on their hips, and they're sitting there trying to reason with these people like peacefully, while they're not being peaceful. They broke windows and doors to get in there.
Doing it
crazy.
Again.
So if it happens again, how's it going to be different?
Oh, it's definitely happening again.
I think it's going to be
Does
different.
anyone want to take bets? Does anyone want to start a pool? January 6th, number 2?
I think it's going to happen again. I'll take a bet just so that we're. I'll bet against.
Well, we need something to bet on. Like how many arrests are made. Like how far. Like does anyone get inside the Capitol this year or next year?
I think this time there are shots fired at the ground as a warning, and I think they will be prepared in their hearts to shoot these motherfuckers in the face, and it won't be necessary because they're Republicans and therefore cowards, and they will flee when the shots get fired into the ground. That's what I think.
We don't even know what's going to happen November 5th.
Yes.
We don't have, remember how last year or during the year, Matt, we were all talking about contingency plans for another Trump presidency and how we were going to live our lives or look at what we're going to do next. Literally, I've been talking with people who say, what are we going to, what happens with our channels? Could it go that far that we are actually, blacklisted, or are the big lefties going to be gone after? There's all kinds of stuff, and I don't want to sow paranoia. I don't. These are just questions I'm asking because these are the things they say.
We have historical evidence. It's not.
They say the quiet.
Hey, I'm fucking paranoid as fuck right now. I think there's people outside my house.
Well, those are just the private eyes. I'm trying to get dirt on you, but it's hard.
I'm literally
I do want to.
fixing my gate.
I got a lot of dirt. I got mud.
I think they're just scamming me, frankly, because they're charging me an awful lot. And
Jake's
I just
like, you didn't see anything.
Are the leaves changing in your backyard? I think I'm getting the same pictures. Oh,
oh. Actually,
by the way, I want to correct myself from earlier. If somebody shoots at the ground and then says they're going to shoot you, what am I talking about? It's not cowardice to run that. Run. What? That makes no sense. I withdraw my earlier tease.
I would like to withdraw Jake's withdrawal. I personally think Republicans, under all circumstances, are cowards, and that therefore.
Oh no, they are. They are. It's simply that I suggested it would be cowardice to run in that situation. No, it wouldn't. That's insane. You should run if someone says they're going to shoot you.
Unless you're a Republican, because then it is cowardice. Because you're a Republican.
Okay, so the Secret Service has already declared it. I think it's the Secret Service, a national. What is it? It's an NSSE, a national.
Stupid.
It's an event. It's like the Super Bowl, the inauguration. They've already declared it an event.
Yeah,
that requiring security, which means prior and proactively, right? Like leading up to it, they're going to be monitoring. They're going to be
ask Nancy Pelosi.
Well, I mean, it's just they're already taking it serious, and there's some speculation, like if you get Ken Klippenstein's newsletter, which you should. There's some speculation.
He's banned from Twitter. That's right.
Get the newsletter. There's speculation that this is just another way of them. It's overreach. And it's the Secret Service saying, now we can spy on everybody because we need to be able to figure out what's going to happen on January 6th.
Like 9/11 when they did the whatever it is. What was the Patriot Act or whatever the fuck it was?
Like, do you need to do this at the Super Bowl?
No.
Where's the historical evidence that that's a...
Did they ever find the guys who planted the bombs?
No.
Don't even get started on that.
So
don't even get started on that. That's
I talked about this.
Marjorie Taylor Greene. It was Marjorie.
I honestly would not be surprised. I suspect she was
her and that other idiot from Colorado. Lauren.
No one
82
has
IQ.
been held accountable or invalidated, or no member. People are being convicted all the time, like 900 people. But like, Trump's allowed to be president again?
Yeah, well, we live in bizarro world. And, you know, when the day after he becomes sworn in, if he wins again, they're all free anyway. And we are definitely all targeted.
And he has immunity.
And
there's video of Taylor Greene showing people around the Capitol the day before going over
entrances.
Boebert did it too. But it is funny how all of this is so it's the wheels of justice are so slow with any of it. And then the whole thing that Jack Smith let out, and it's out of the news already. You know, the document that really shows all the dirt and the bullshit, it's out of the news because nobody gives a fuck. And they all want to vote for billionaire losers. I don't know why people want to support billionaire losers.
On a related note, what I recommend we all do is have, and I'm talking to you, audience.
Me too, live the dream.
Is have parties for election night and have results watching parties. Maybe consider turning on your favorite leftist channels to monitor those results. But you can watch CNN, you can watch whatever you want. The point being, have a party on election night. And if and when it's announced that Harris wins, celebrate loudly. And the reason I suggest you do
I live
is to the reason I suggest you do this is to make it so that your scumbag neighbors hear people being happy that Harris won, so they're less likely to believe the nonsense that Trump is inevitably going to say.
Well, that is, you have to have neighbors that can hear you.
I'm talking to the folks at home as well.
I'll get my megaphones. I'll do a whole tour.
Oh, you will.
Heck yeah.
Well, all right.
Play celebrate. But my point
what
is,
do we have?
celebrate
27 days?
Celebrate publicly and loudly when the announcement happens because they're going to be trying to convince the very most gullible amongst us, by which I mean Republican voters, that the election was stolen.
You're so bad.
Not kind to these folks.
There was a moment.
Give them evidence to the contrary.
Shit.
It's kind of a famous
Me
moment.
too, Sarah. She'll be dancing in the streets if Trump loses. Woohoo! We will be dancing with you, baby girl.
If we know that night, we might not, but
no, we may not, because there's going to be so much bullshit going on in the red states that
well, and people have counting rules now that they didn't have before, so it just takes longer. Like in Pennsylvania.
The biggest thing is also there's like dozens and dozens of election deniers that are in the actual counting process now because there's
But there's this kind of popular moment from all the filming that went on January 6th where there's this guy going, he said something like, "We're taking that building," and the guy next to him goes, "And then what?" And he's like, it's just like such a fucking like every time they open their mouths, I was like, they just sound so dumb. Like there's a cop, they had to push him back, and this cop kind of like puts his hand up and pushes this guy back. And he's like, "I don't like to be pushed." And it's like, you showed up here thinking you weren't going to get pushed or like pushed back. Like, what the fuck is it? It was so weird. But
that lady that was like bawling, saying they maced me. And then they're like, well, what were you doing? I was trying to break in because it's a revolution. Oh.
Yeah, they're like, really? You're going to
armed
mace
revolutions
me?
go. Like, I can't believe it. They escalated so much. All I was trying to do was a violent overthrow of democracy, and they sprayed me with mace.
I'd like to violently overthrow the Supreme Court. That's violently.
What do you want to violently overthrow?
The Supreme Court.
Yeah, me too.
But I'll tell you what I think. Right after, if Harris wins, we need to mobilize to try to get rid of the Electoral College, get rid of money, Citizens United, join up, move to amend, get money out of politics, and let's have many parties that are on an equal footing and stop this duopoly bullshit for once and for all before the climate definitely takes us down.
I actually think that's not out of the realm of possibility. Well, I actually think we could work with
in the realm of pop. It has to be in the realm of possibility. Has to be.
Beautiful.
I'm a little skeptical.
I just want to definitely kill the Republican Party. I think this is our chance to do
How about and don't use
I'll use better language. I'm sorry.
End
murder.
MAGA. How about end MAGA? You know, the Republican Party,
utter annihilation, destruction of genocide of the Republican Party's infrastructure.
I want to be crystal clear. And you're right. I used bad language there.
I don't like it.
But Republican Party, not MAGA. Republican Party. I want it to be no more. I want it to cease to be, because it has been for my whole life an evil organization. It has been an anti-democratic organization. Here's how
we do it. Here's how we do it. We just allow the Democrats to become the new Republicans, and then bring in something more left.
That's what everybody.
That's what we do.
Truly.
That's what
we just find like a new lefty party.
That's what I'm counting on.
That's what Ben Dixon was saying on my show Monday night. He was like,
I gotta watch.
And I was like, that's a great idea, dude.
Before I get too old and die, I'd like to see that happen.
He and I are on the same page. Ask the Wicked community. I have been talking about this for over a year. I think it's in the cards, because a big enough election loss this time, this very election, could spell doom for the Republican Party, which is long overdue.
Doom, my middle name.
And the Democrats are so hated because they don't really represent the left, but they're the only representation the left has. So it's here. The time is here. The time is correct. Good. Take on all the Republicans that are jumping ship, all the Ted Lieu's, all the Joe Manchins that are.
And I think a lot of us old farts would be right there, right on the front lines with everybody.
Speech against Ted Lieu.
I mean, I don't dislike Ted Lieu, but he's a conservative. He's a conservative Democrat. Let him be.
Conservative.
He's like, it's like Democrats love the Lincoln Project.
They love it.
I get it.
Oh, I
are
love
the
the
Lincoln
Lincoln
Project.
Project because I love
Big gobble.
America, and who else loves America? Abraham Lincoln.
Wait a minute.
Oh,
Where's
God.
Canada again? I always confuse that.
Canada's somewhere in Europe, I think.
That's right.
I have to answer Bila. He said, didn't Waltz call for an end of the Electoral College tonight? I have been watching nothing but hurricane
I
coverage.
hope so.
I've
That's
been
Don't play with my
exclusive.
emotions.
Well,
And while
anyway.
we're at it, the Electoral High School.
Okay, so you said that Democrats love the Lincoln Project, and I have this thing. They constantly put the Democrats down right now for embracing Liz Cheney and all them. But in a way, but wait. I have to say something. There's a wing of the Democrats that are laughing hysterically that these Dick Cheney acolytes are groveling over to the Democrats because they're so desperate to get the power back, that they've lost power, that there are people on the left that are laughing at it, and not just, maybe it's an embrace because they want to win the election, but it is ludicrous to think that everyone on the Democratic Party is embracing this.
Oh,
It's a way
definitely
to
not.
fucking win. And when we win, those people are not going to have, they're not, well,
They've given them no
should not-
concessions. Liz Cheney gets nothing for it.
Nothing.
Dick
No.
Cheney's getting nothing
No,
for
they're
it.
groveling.
They
And
already
Darth-
reformed George
Darth
W.
Cheney.
Bush. That counts for his whole administration. It's not like Michelle Obama is good buddies or Ellen DeGeneres is good buddies with George W. Bush.
Right.
But Dick Cheney was really bad. No, they've whitewashed all that shit. It's all been cleaned.
Well,
It's
Sponged.
I
the
just
good
like
news
to
is-
see them get their ass kicked right out.
Yeah.
They want to let them take back MAGA. And you say, you hate the Republican Party. I guess it's understandable. They've never been on the right side of anything in history ever.
And truly, when I say the
Abraham
Republican Party, I'm not even talking about conservatives. I disagree with conservatives through and through completely. But I look forward to the Democrats being the new conservative party. I don't mind a little political duel, sure. It's specifically the Republican Party. It has operated as a criminal organization, at least for my whole life.
Criminal syndicate, even.
I don't know what that means, syndicate, but it sounds sinister, and so it's
That's
probably
what
Like an organization, but much more interesting.
They used to call it
yeah.
gangs, the mob, then they called it the outfit, then they called it the syndicate.
It's basically that. I mean, they're too cowardly to do violence themselves, but other than that, yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Look up the consent decree they had to sign in the 1980s because they couldn't stop posting people at polls to intimidate voters. People with guns.
Could I say something about the Republican Party positively?
Of course.
Ooh.
Wait, you want to
sure
say
try.
it positively or say
Yeah.
something
No,
positive?
you'll like this. This is good.
Okay.
This is good. So, shout out to the Republican Party, specifically in the 19th century, for crafting the 14th Amendment, particularly Section 3, that said if you engage in an insurrection or rebellion while having signed or pledged an oath to the office, that you're banned from ever holding office again. So I would also like to say, in regards to January 6th, Nancy Pelosi could have invoked the Constitution. It's the law of the land. The Republican Party would have been banned on January 6th, but we don't live in a constitutional democracy. The Constitution was thrown in the garbage on January 6th. If the Constitution were upheld, the Republican Party would have been banned for engaging in a rebellion.
Yep.
Enacted by the Republican Party in the 19th century.
The reason
I need my pocket Constitution. I have
the reason why
Oops.
Democrats and Kamala Harris like Liz Cheney is for moments like what happened in this documentary I was watching last night, where this one congressman turns, these are two Republicans, right? Turns to Liz Cheney, and he is about to say, the second this is over, we go back in there and do our job, right? And finish the election, right? And certifying the election. But before he could get that out, he was saying, we got to go back in there. Liz Cheney cut him off and said, and introduce articles of impeachment against Donald Trump. And so that's why everyone's like, okay, she went there before and nobody else was going there and she did. And so that's why they they dig her. And I mean, look, I get it. She's not cool. These people aren't cool.
It's the reverse Tulsi Gabbard.
I don't think the money interests are going to do anything we would like to see them do.
I like, and Jake and I were talking about this offline. I was just talking about it in my chat a little bit. The idea, like today, or I guess on The View recently, she said, Harris said, yeah, I would have a Republican in my administration. Like, gross, right? I hate it. But if that were a Republican governor who now they're going to bump up the Democratic lieutenant governor to be governor. See what I'm saying? Like, okay, that could be smart.
And what in the cabinet? Like some bullshit little
it could be meaningless.
Meaningless.
It's like, what was Nikki Haley? Like some sort of ambassador or something?
Well, yeah, but her job, an ambassador is not an unimportant job.
But they did that
or a senator
because it brought up a Republican lieutenant governor into the governor position. And so
very
it was
strategic,
like,
Matt.
Yeah. So there's, it's fucking politics, man. They'll think of something, but we can't turn around and go, she said what? She's going to be a terrible president. Look, I'm sure she's not going to be the greatest president of all time, but we want her to be. We need her to be. We need to fight for that, not fighting for them. Like, we need to give them the opportunity to get in our way so we can fight for these things.
Absolutely.
Not block them from getting there, because hello, focus fire on the right. My God, look at this. This is the worst case scenario in the Republicans. I mean, hello. Obviously, we got to beat these fuckers.
We want that Bill of Rights that you and Harvey.
True. Right.
We want that Bill of Rights.
There's just too much doom and gloom around the Democrats. And I get it. And I agree with it. Of
course, we get it.
I gotta clarify though. Like, I don't
tell David Sirota that.
That's his job.
Folks, if you see someone online,
I know it's his job.
And for this crowd, I'll warn you against. For this crowd, I'll warn you against lefties doing it. If you see someone online coming up with some smug reason to throw away your vote, don't listen to them, because they do not have an adult's understanding of how the world works. This election is between someone who is trying to end democracy and some lady. That's all she needs to be. Is she going to be someone you adore? Nope. And if you've learned anything from the last 30 years of politics, the president won't be a hero. The president, at best, will be someone that responds to the will of the people. We might have that in Kamala Harris. But make no mistake, it is an election between a traitor who is trying to start a dictatorship in America. That is not an exaggeration. Them's the facts. And a lady with like car keys and a credit card and the ability to do grown-up shit.
She's got car keys. Oh.
And nobody could fall asleep and just get complacent like when Obama was in the presidency, because he did so many things that were so neoliberal. I mean, they took him in the back room immediately and slapped the shit out of him and said, "Sorry, bro, but what your hope and change and your community activism isn't going to work here." Well, it has to be different. It has to be different, and we all have that knowledge now. Everybody. If you don't have the knowledge that you could make the changes or try or fight or whatever, then you've been asleep. And we need to make sure that those people that are just status quo get a little uncomfortable.
Yep.
Can I say one thing in regards to a comment that was displayed in regards to vote shaming? Because I personally believe in vote shaming. I love shaming people based on their votes. If you vote for Donald Trump, I'm going to shame you. I'm going to be honest with you. You should feel ashamed of yourself.
What happens
if you vote for Jill Stein or Cornel West or whoever the libertarian is, you should probably feel ashamed of yourself. Let's be honest here. You should think about your life and where you're at right now and whether or not you're a net positive. If you're voting for Jill Stein in 2024, let's be honest. What the fuck is Jill Stein doing?
It's a protest vote in the blue states.
Maybe
that's what people are telling me.
But also, I'm just gonna say this. I would just fuck Jill Stein. That bitch is a grifter. She's best friends with Vladimir Putin. I know people are gonna get triggered when I say that, right? She raised money for this fake recount, she's just a fucking loser. She's a fucking loser in a literal sense. She's a professional loser.
What put me over the edge with her was in the Nevada to try to get on the ballot. They hired the worst Republican lawyer they possibly could. What's his name? Jay Sekulow. Once I saw that, and I said, "That's it." Why
it's a
they
small club?
But they
know what I
couldn't
mean?
find
These
a
guys are
lawyer
all...
that wasn't Jay Sekulow, who is absolutely 100% pro-Israel, anti-Palestinian, money grubbing, right wing Trump ass licking toady. That's what changed.
I was telling somebody the other day.
Bye, Jill.
I'm old enough to remember Kamala Harris fist bumping Mitch McConnell on the floor. Why are you? What? Hey, what's up, bro? What's up?
Can I
don't do that
in regard to vote shaming?
Yeah.
Okay, so people that vote for Jill Stein.
Andrea's raising her hand.
I don't want to interrupt. Y'all are doing your thing. If you vote for Jill Stein, my recommendation, vote for Kamala Harris, okay? Fuck Kamala Harris. I hate that bitch, all right? But just vote for her and start a podcast. Because what you're doing when you vote for Jill Stein is you think your vote is you're expressing yourself. You're not. You're not expressing yourself. This isn't a fucking art project. Start a fucking podcast.
Thanks.
Instead of voting for Cornel West, start a fucking podcast. No one cares who you voted for. You posting a picture of your ballot on Twitter doesn't fucking matter. Start a fucking podcast and vote for Kamala Harris so we can deal with more important bullshit, okay? I'm sorry, that's just how it is. I know, okay? It sucks. Jill Stein, wouldn't she be great? She was in a fucking punky folk band or whatever in the 70s. How cool is that, right? She's so cool, right?
Well,
I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck.
She had the whole thing is she's got policies that people are attracted to, but she's a phony. And I realized it when Jay Sekulow, that's my opinion, when she hired him for Nevada, it's all over for me, because there are plenty of progressive attorneys that could have handled that case. Bullshit.
Have you ever seen, talking about Obama and his failures and stuff? Have you ever seen the movie Killing Them Softly? Brad Pitt. So it's actually Brad Pitt, James Gandolfini, Ray Liotta.
Yeah.
It's great. It was this book originally, Kogan's Trade. So from
what is this horseshit where you're bringing up books it's actually this book.
I'm going on
by happenstance. I didn't plan this at all. It's just this book I brought up.
I am recording an episode of Movies versus Capitalism next week, and we are going to be talking about that movie. It's very anti-capitalism. It's a spit in the eye to the American dream. What they did was they took this crime novel from the 70s. They put this out. I think the movie was 2013. And they interspliced it with, it takes place during the financial crisis. So it's Barack Obama, George W. Bush, Paulson, right? Was that his name? Henry Paulson? McCain. You hear their speeches on TV and radio in the background of every other scene. And so it's gangsters talking about how their gangster economy has been crippled, while juxtaposed with these real life speeches by Barack Obama. And
that's interesting.
The book is, the movie is otherwise a straight adaptation, except that they bring in this modern context. And so when you watch the movie the first time at that time, you might not quite get it. It's either too on the nose for you as a lefty progressive, or it's it seems confusing. I don't understand why are they playing those speeches? But as the years go by, everyone's like, holy shit, this movie is so relevant. It's more relevant. It becomes relevant in new ways. You know what I mean? Now it's commentary on necropolitics or necrocapitalism, right? Where people need to die in order for these things to be successful and suffer. And so it's very interesting, but now I kind of I don't want to ruin the end of the movie. I mean, it doesn't ruin the end of the movie, but there's this whole scene at the end that was made for the movie. And this sentiment is, echoed throughout the film where you are on your own in this country. If you're going to be cynical about it, and if you're going to look at it through the eyes of, hey, we're owned by capitalism, this is a fucking business. It's not a country. And you're here to get paid, and everyone else can fuck off.
Yeah.
And I think that one of the main failures on both sides, right and left, but I don't even really like those terms, but it clearly illustrates what we're talking about. Yeah.
Purposes.
So I think the main failure is when everyone's like, we could pull together and get this done ourselves. Not under these circumstances. I don't think that's the thing.
Police.
You have to work within the system to a degree in order to gain the transparency that we really need, in order to make the changes we really need. You have to learn to play the game to a degree. And when it comes to voting, doing like a protest vote or something, that doesn't, I don't personally think that's a win, and I don't think it's vote shaming.
It's just,
to these are fucking
out. These people. I'm sorry to do this again. I voted for Jill Stein. Okay, I did it. I made that mistake when I was 19 years old. I know. I was a fucking moron. I know. Okay, I get it. You thought, oh, I'm gonna vote for Jill Stein, and then they're gonna teach the Democrats a lesson, and then they're gonna get more left. It didn't happen.
No, it didn't.
We got Joe Biden. What the fuck? We got Joe Biden, dude. It was worse. It was worse. Okay. And now we got Kamala Harris. Like, I'm sorry. It didn't fucking work.
I tell you
it didn't work. Hey, I get it. You're fucking 23 years old. God forbid if you're any older voting for Jill Stein. I mean, Jesus fucking Christ. If you're older than 23 and you're voting for Jill Stein, holy fuck.
Can I
get
something
okay,
after
go on,
this, Andrea? Because you're getting on a roll, and I have to say this before I forget it. I forget it. Okay, so Kamala has Doug's 2 kids, and I have this like fantasy that Doug's daughter, I forgot her name, Emhoff, is a protester against the war in the Middle East. And I have this fantasy that Kamala listens to this kid, and that after she takes the presidency, that this young lady has a voice and says, Ma, we have to stop this. We have to stop sending bombs and money. I know it's a pipe dream. It could be, but she looked like she might look, Donald Trump. Did you hear? I mean, his kids are the biggest schmucks on the planet, and he gives them some credit for things. Oh, by the way, did you hear Eric Trump is now a cop? He got a nepotism police job in some fucked up state by some.
That's awesome.
You're kidding me.
No, it's I read it.
I mean,
today.
Steven Seagal was a cop too, right?
Yeah, right.
So was Elvis.
And so was Bongino, Don Bongino. He was a Fed.
You could become a minister through an ad in the back of Rolling Stone magazine.
That's my little
some
hope.
of these things are symbolic.
That's my little hope. That Doug Emhoff's daughter is definitely one that would be out on the streets.
It could happen.
Yeah, Kamala Harris is a sleeper cell. Her dad's a Marxist. She knows what's going on. She's playing.
That would be great. That's the progressive. That's the socialist Trojan horse I've been talking about for a long time.
My Jill Stein thing, because there's people.
All right.
I just want to yell at them.
I want you to yell at them though.
Because I voted for Jill Stein. I went through this mistake. I want the younger people.
Oh, it's good to hear.
If you're older than me, please seek help. Seek therapy immediately. Log off the internet. But if you're younger than me, I did the same thing. I get it. Right. Again, you know what I did after I voted for Jill Stein? You know what I did? I started a fucking podcast, because that's what I really wanted to do. Your vote is fucking meaningless unless you're voting for one of the two. Hey, I'll be honest with you. And you know what? If you want to vote for Jill Stein in California, I don't fucking care. Why? Because you're in California, your vote's fucking meaningless.
But what about
if you're in the swing states and you're voting for Jill Stein? You're a fucking idiot. You're dumb. You're dumpster sludge. You think Jill Stein? I don't want to shout out any particular person. Someone in the chat said, "I want to vote for a person who doesn't support genocide." Oh, you think Jill Stein doesn't fucking support genocide? She's having dinners with Vladimir Putin. She's going on TV saying, "Well, actually, Vladimir is not that bad." Well, actually, and then she's later on, once her handlers say, well, it's actually okay to throw me under the bus just now. She goes on then like 3 days later to say, well, actually, Vladimir's not so good. She loves genocide. She's a player. She's an actor. She's not
She
authentic.
hired Jay Sekulow.
Yeah, she's a fucking loser. She like, if you want to vote for someone authentic,
for me.
write in yourself. Write in somebody
Vermin
else.
Supreme. Vermin Supreme.
There you go. Vermin
the
Supreme's
best
fucking authentic.
He's
Jill
hilarious.
Stein
I've been watching
just
his
as
videos.
much of an actor as Tulsi Gabbard, just as much as of an actor as Kamala Harris. They're all actors. Cornel West, another actor. These are all inauthentic actors, charlatans, pretend, make-believe motherfuckers, all right? If you're falling for it, just start a podcast. Okay, just start a podcast.
Okay.
That's it, because that's what you really want to do. If I vote for Jill Stein, I'm expressing myself. No, you're not. No one gives a fuck. No one gives a shit. You're not expressing yourself. No one will remember it. It will affect nobody whatsoever. Start a podcast. Then maybe you'll have some motherfucking influence, and then vote for someone who's actually has a chance of fucking winning, and then we can, actually play at the grown-up table, because you're playing at the fucking 5-year-old table in fucking Thanksgiving. That's what you're doing.
So they don't round people
and
up.
the controller's not even plugged in. You're a fucking loser if you're voting for Jill Stein in a swing state. I'm sorry, man. You're a fucking loser. Okay, I'm just
okay.
Yeah.
Now my thing is, I don't tell anybody who to vote for, what to do. I listen to everybody. I can say what I feel. But, it's like if Donald Trump wins, there is the threat of people being rounded up or being
literally
horribly. Yes, they will deport. I understand the hatred of genocide. We all hate it. We all hate what's going on. But we live in this country also, and they're going to do what they say they're going to do. And guess what? You won't have a vegetable on your fucking plate because there'll be nobody to pick them.
Facts. And I do want to be clear. I don't think that universally you must never vote against the incumbent Democrat or blah, blah, blah. I'm talking about very specifically in this election.
I'll tell you who to vote for.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, there really is not. There's the choice of either fighting
I'm going to put it in the show notes
or not.
Vote socialist.
And that's the only choice you're making. If you vote for Harris, you're making the correct decision.
All right, guys.
If you don't vote for Harris, you are choosing to welcome with open arms.
This idea that Donald Trump, right, is going to be better for the fucking goddamn Palestinians.
No.
Give me
that's terrible. He already said he'll blow up Iran. But listen, I put in the chat Claudia and Karina. These two they end capitalism before it ends us. They have something. If you really want to read about their platform and see what younger people are thinking about. This go round doesn't have a shot, but goddamn, people are so much different than they were in 2016.
True.
Nobody's gonna.
And that's the point is if you want to change this, if you want to break the wheel, I think we're all in agreement that we want to as well. Step one is to vote for Harris, but it doesn't mean that's the only thing you do. Then we get to work.
It can't be the only thing. Plus, we have a climate crisis that is not ending. It's probably not going to end.
Staying on focus for a second, I'm trying to say that I understand what people are saying when they're like, I want to vote for third person because X, because we see the same things happening and the same decline happening over and over. I get that. You can change that. And we're going to work with you to change that. It does involve doing the same thing you've heard in not 100 other elections, but a lot of other elections. Yeah, you do have to vote for the lesser evil. But from there,
it does suck.
It sucks, but from there, we actually now have opportunities.
And that's
I'll give you a case in point. Is labor organizing.
They're throwing things like labor out the window, Palestinians out the window, because they're all pawns. They're all chess pieces to the Jill Stein voters. They don't give a fuck about Palestinians. Because Trump is going to fucking kill them all much faster and in much brutal fashion. They give a fuck about, I'm going to teach the Democrats a lesson and I'm going to use the Palestinians as a bargaining chip. I'm going to accelerate their genocide and ethnic cleansing and total erasure off of this planet because I want to teach Kamala Harris a fucking lesson. Give me a fucking break. They don't fucking need this horseshit, and it sucks that Kamala Harris is what we got. She's awful. You see the shit she's talking about with Iran? Did you see this October October 7th bullshit she wrote, it's terrible. But this idea, oh, I'm going to vote for Jill Stein, which, let's be honest, that does nothing. Trump's going to get elected. If you do that in a swing state, that's just what's going to happen. And then what you're doing is you're throwing Palestinians under the bus. You're going to murder them all so that you can look cool on the internet. I'm against genocide. That's why I voted to accelerate it. Again, I'm sorry, but come on with this moral grandstanding. Oh, you support I can't vote for genocide. Really? This is the game you're playing?
There's
Are you 5? What?
But there's a lot of people that feel that passion, Andrea, and it's hard to. I understand. Well, yeah, but it's you can't. You just don't want to kill other people's passion either.
Look, this uncommitted movement
voting
should
is not
go anywhere. And the uncommitted movement right now that has come up from, it started when Biden was still the candidate, but
totally different context too, by the way.
What do you mean?
It worked also.
Yeah, like just the idea of being uncommitted during when Biden was the guy, like, was to get him the fuck out. There was no other option, right? So in a sense,
that's what I'm saying.
Movement did accomplish a major goal.
But so like the evolution of it and the organizing around it and becoming nationwide, this is the kind of thing that I think that passion will lead to. I think it's very positive. It's a lot more than a silver lining. But there's this, I don't love, what is it, the Siena College, New York Times polls. Those are always kind of skewed right wing, but they are polling people on which candidate is better for democracy. And I've said that, I've talked about this before. This is my rant, but like, number one, the only reason that is a fucking question is because one of them clearly is not good for democracy. But number two, there's no question that Kamala Harris is not bad for democracy. She's not bad, right?
Yeah.
And three, who in the fuck has to think about that? Who answering that poll is like,
gee, I don't know.
Let me think.
Well, gosh, golly, gee. Who really is good on democracy? I don't know.
I want to know who's good on the LGBTQ friends.
Well, I really don't know.
Who's good on all of the people that are going to lose their rights even worse than women have in the United States already.
But my right-wing neighbor used to always say, but the elections are rigged. And I was like, in terms of corporations influencing them and outside money and dark money and money from overseas, I mean, you can draw a conclusion that they are unfair or that they are bought, right?
They're bought,
but
to brainwash the voters.
But to say that one party has the ability to pull the wool over everyone's eyes and get away with it while the rest of the time they're too incompetent to help the country. This is what I'm saying. If Jake was saying Matt is like such an idiot, he shouldn't be on this podcast anymore, he fucks it up every time.
That's what Jake
and then
says.
Blamed me.
He was talking about that for hours.
But then blamed me for somehow orchestrating a strike against his personal YouTube channel. I would go, haha, I guess I'm not that much of an idiot if you think I'm capable of that shit. Because if there's any way I could pull that off, then I am not an idiot. Or I'm just pretending to be an idiot this whole time as like some shtick or something. And that doesn't make any fucking sense. And it's obnoxious.
Internal logic doesn't track.
We love eye candy here.
Ooh, eye candy. That's what we're calling this.
I have new
but which candidate's better for democracy? Are you fucking kidding me?
Exactly.
Maybe we need to redefine democracy.
We live in
the US.
Fuckville.
Well, I just don't want to see.
Everyone thinks they have an opinion. You don't have an opinion on who's better on democracy. That's not up for debate. There's no opinion. You don't get to fucking have a debate. Wow, I'm gonna come up with a really unique concept of an idea of how to talk about. No, Kamala Harris is better on democracy. End of story. Next question. That's it. You don't get an opinion.
And I am scared for Project 2025. It's not a one-issue election. Project 2025. I did the show on Chapter 13. They're going to get rid of the EPA, ruin all of the environmental regulations. The NOAA is going to go and be privatized. No more National Weather Service. So when there's tornadoes and hurricanes, especially like tonight, if you don't have a very expensive for-pay, service, you're going to be
I
screwed.
here. Look, let me just say something to Gene real quick.
Shout out to Gene, by the way. Thank you for watching.
We love Gene. I love Gene too.
Love Gene.
Very
and he's wearing jeans right now. Actually.
I want this to be a socialist. If this became socialist tomorrow, good. I'm there. If I had socialist candidates in South Carolina, I'd be voting for them. I don't see that happening. Maybe it doesn't need to. When I lived in Colorado, if there were socialist candidates, I would have voted for them. Maybe there are now. I'm not quite sure. My point is, I am not anti, and I know Gene's not saying this. I'm not anti-socialism because I'm voting for Harris. And I don't think that voting for Harris means that you're giving up your socialist values. Am I wrong about that?
No.
Voting is not that motherfucking important. Like, that's not what voting is about. Voting isn't about what t-shirt you're wearing and what you're talking about, like, you know, at the lunch table, man. Like, that's not what fucking voting is about. Voting is about who you want to be president. It's not about what your politics are. It's not about what you, this is about what you want to be, like, who you want to be the president. It's just, it has nothing to do with whether or not you're a socialist.
There's all the local voting going on too. I mean, nobody talks about it. I mean, we have, you know, limp dick Nick Langworthy in my district, and I can't stand. He is definitely
ableist. I wanted
disgusting.
I wanted.
We have no shot. It's so red here.
I wanted Bernie Sanders to be president for 12 years. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
yes. I'm putting a picture of my congressman in the Discord for you guys to pull.
Can I talk to the chat for a sec? Well, someone says that's how Andrea rolls, rolling eyes emoji. That's why I stopped watching their channel. Well, I stopped posting, so you didn't stop watching for any other reason. I just stopped posting. But it's like, okay, I'm sorry. This is not the hate is toward the wrong people. Jill Stein voters are at the apex ratio of the most reasonable, the most willing to listen to logic. MAGA, too far gone. Right? Let's be honest. Undecided voters, too far gone. This is why I am attacking Jill Stein voters. They have the most logical capacity, the most potential intelligence here. They're the most like I could maybe reach them. Okay? So if you want to talk about strategy, that's my motherfucking strategy. And if you're offended that I call someone stupid for voting for Jill Stein, I'm sorry. I mean, you know, maybe I shouldn't call you stupid.
She's not. I love her. She's one of the brightest people I know, Andrea. Actually.
Who, Jill Stein?
No, Jean, my moderator, for fuck's sake. She's my moderator and she's brilliant.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm saying, like, I wouldn't, like, it's not that I hate you.
No,
it's just that I think in this particular discussion, when we're talking about this specific subject, I think you're dumb. Like, you could be smart when it comes to everything else, and that's great. And you know what? I'm fucking stupid on a lot of things. Hey, you can think I'm stupid when it comes to Jill Stein, right? That's totally possible.
Movies.
But you know what? That's my opinion. You're stupid when it comes to just whoa. Movies?
Now that you're dunking on the show theme now.
Okay, a movie fan who hasn't seen what 98% of the movies out
I'll
there.
Have you know, I watched
on the Saw franchise. Oh, okay.
I watched fucking Spaceballs last weekend. I'll have you know, motherfucker.
How many shows did we talk about?
I can watch Spaceballs.
Got to be on the bingo board.
I can watch Spaceballs with no sound and just do all the dialogue, man. I could do that for my wife. Can do that for Ferris Bueller's Day Off, but I could do that for.
I didn't understand any of the references because I've never seen Star Wars. I've never seen Star Trek. I watched Spaceballs. So don't you dare fucking harass me for my taste in movies
you got
ever again.
Explaining to do, girlfriend.
I got to explain a damn thing.
I got one more pitch that I'm desperate to make to the group we've been talking to and about.
Shout out
real
to
quick.
Jill
Hear out the wicked pitch. I think you should vote for Kamala Harris to rid yourself once and for all of the Democratic Party. Hear me out.
Yeah.
We have an opportunity to get rid of the Republican Party through a mix of unpopularity and also criminality. There's a whole lot of them that are about to be on trial if we play our cards right, because they broke the law. They appear to have broken the law. When there is a mass exodus from the Republicans, when it becomes so crystal clear in about a year's time that they are a criminal organization, the leftover donors and political philosophy and people that didn't commit crimes that do still want to be in politics. They're going to go somewhere. And that somewhere, I suspect, and apparently so does Benjamin Dixon, according to Matt, I suspect that place is going to be the Democratic Party. I think the Democrats are
They're
going
already
to be
funding their campaigns to
Bada
get
boom.
rid of progressives.
So,
yeah,
so
it's,
to
and
finish
it's
the
working.
thought, I think the
Yeah,
Democrats
finish
are
the
going.
thought.
I'll be quick. I think they're going to
I
be
wanna
the
hear
new conservatives. I think they're going to take over for the Republican Party. That is good for us because despite the fact that, as we've seen, we disagree with Democrats on a lot of stuff, they are at least, for the most part, law-abiding. So they will be the
Except
official
for
opposition.
Eric Adams.
Shout out to
Except for
Bobby
Eric
Mendez.
Adams.
and
And
Bobby
Bobby
Mendez.
my favorite New Jerseyan.
But they do a
And
lot of
kind of
legal crime,
manage-
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I
they do
mean, yeah.
white collar stupid crime.
But the point being, they are
Oh,
better
God.
opponents to have, and it would be lovely. It would be lovely to finally just hear them admit that they're conservative. So yeah,
I
we
hope
need.
that's not
but
hopium.
this doesn't happen unless
Oh, it's opium.
the Republicans get trounced in this election.
And
So
we have to.
essentially,
We have to.
yes, build
Like,
them
and I'm
up
sorry,
so we
someone
can break
called me
away.
immature earlier, and I just want to
Oh,
say I don't
Andrea.
give a shit about if maturity is civility, tone policing bullshit. Hillary Clinton in the primary in 2016, Bernie bro garbage. I'm immature because I called someone stupid. I'm immature. If being mature is like, you know, agreeing to this certain tone about respectability, I'm sorry, I don't. Then I'm not mature. I'm not. Okay. But
And
this, like Jake is saying, this is a fucking important thing in this narrow context. Voting for Jill Stein is basically saying, I'm throwing up my hands. I'm not playing the fucking game. Okay. But then you pretending like you're acting like you are playing the game. You're not playing. If you vote for Jill Stein, you're not playing the game.
Okay.
So we need to have Kamala Harris in there. And as Jake is saying, Democrats are conservative. We know this. They're trash. And I would love to fight conservative Democrats, but we can't when MAGA is taking up all of this space online. You see what they're doing with the hurricane stuff? You see this disinformation they're posting on Twitter?
Yes, I've been
How can we
fighting it
fight
for
Democrats when this is going on? We can't. We need to dismantle Republicans. That is step one. I'm sorry, but this idea that we can dismantle Republicans and Democrats at the same time. I'm sorry. We are like leftists. I'm sorry. If you are against genocide in any way, shape, and form,
So
you are
are
like
we.
5% of the population on planet Earth.
Right.
We cannot afford to be spreading ourselves so thin that we're going to teach Kamala Harris a lesson by enabling Trump to commit a total genocide in the Middle East. I'm sorry. We don't have those resources.
And what he's going to do here, which we're going back, and I'm afraid for a lot of friends of mine, and you know, it is a fearful time.
There's a lot of I love the suggestion to start a podcast. I had Jill Stein's campaign manager on with Andy Fitzgerald, and I've had lots of Green Party people on. I'm gonna have more Green Party people on.
Yeah.
We
and there's
have
lots
to
of great
give
people
them
in the Green Party, by the way.
Yeah,
local elections. Yeah,
we have to give them platform. We have to let people hear their voices. Because we can't just condemn them and not also like learn and study and talk to and figure it out and debate and all that stuff. So we all have to do this. And so if
high hopes charts. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, but I mean, there's no better way to
High
engage
hopes
with these
charts.
folks than to give them, you know, start your podcast, get 3.8 thousand people on your subscribers, and then
4.2.
that is apparently enough for some guests to come on, and you can talk to them for an hour and have some clips and get that shit around there. And the more we do that, the more opportunity they have to do that, the more legit they are. It just makes sense. The credibility is built.
Organizing is about interpersonal communication. It's about building things with other people, networks. It's about, you know, on the ground. It's about like, how many phone numbers do I have? How many addresses do I have? If there's a problem, who do I go to? That's organizing. Your vote is not an organizing movement. It's not a statement. You're not expressing yourself. A vote is literally just it's as monotonous as paying your taxes. It's like going to work in the morning. That is nothing. The idea that we have to debate this because of Green Party people is bizarre to me. But your vote is not that important. It's about as important as like licking a stamp, like it's not that big of a
I've
deal.
been doing that, writing postcards, licking stamps, and it's not for a
Can't lick
part.
those
It's
stamps, that's gonna
no,
kill you.
but it's not. Well, I've been using a sponge, but it's not actually what we're doing is not telling people who to vote for. We are just reminding them to vote. And in our little New York County, we have been sending postcards out to all these different swing states with their state on the cover, just saying, hey, and their name. And, you're going to vote. We just want to remind you to vote. And we're sending them out. And I've been part of that. And it hurts because we write it. We
P.S.
handwrite
If
it.
you're undecided, choose a fucking side.
No,
How do you
no.
address
Oh,
that?
and
No?
another thing is, uh-oh.
Whoa, zoom in.
All right, I did not.
Oh shit! What the fuck?
Together we make a real horrific lady for a second.
Anyway, we also have this thing. I wish I had my purse with me. That they did. They gave us these stickers, and when you go to any public ladies' room, you put it in the bathroom, and it just says nobody has to know who you vote for. Ladies, this is women, women
That's
to women
such a
or whatever,
good idea.
or what it's got, and it's been stickers in the bathrooms, and it's in the ladies' rooms and the gender neutral rooms. So that's what we've been doing.
Yeah, and
little
Green
things
Party,
like that.
Green Party can be part of a progressive. Green Party candidates, once elected, can be part of a progressive caucus.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? They can still be
absolutely
run for city
super
council.
left.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Governors, all that shit.
We got
everything.
We got a hopeful potential future on the horizon.
And we also have 99 totally disastrous hell on earth.
Yeah.
We're all gonna fucking die. It's gonna be
Dr.
really,
Strange
really bad.
Somebody asked if I was pro-abortion. And
yes, I'm pro-abortion.
but no,
we need more abortion.
No, she's only for
and I don't
post-birth
like
killing
the
babies.
term pro-abortion because it sounds like a right-wing catch-a phrase.
Yeah.
It is pro-choice. Look, even Melania just said it in an interview. I want to do what I want to do with my own body.
True.
I think
did she really say that? That's awesome.
I think what lefties need to do, and this is basically just online. I think it's social media. I think what I would like to see
Sorry, JRTXN. Sorry.
we had this we
Jersey,
had
Texas.
this
Hey.
when I worked in an office, there were just endless problems. They just kept coming up. And I finally said, okay, look. Somebody said we're like constantly in the heat of battle. And I was like, okay, let's go with that analogy. If you hear bombs dropping, like all our problems are a bomb dropping, you have to think to yourself, how far away is that? Do I need to keep my ears open for it to get closer, or do I have to drop everything and run right now, or do I turn and defend myself because I don't even have enough time? Like when something upsetting happens and Harris is embracing Liz Cheney or Dick Cheney's endorsement, whatever it is, you have to think to yourself, how far off in the distance is this problem? How severe is this problem? How immediate is this problem? Do I have to react to this right now? Or can I just go, maybe if I shut the fuck up about it, it'll go away like tomorrow or the next.
Jake has a lot of experience with this.
It becomes like the topic du jour, and that becomes like the topic of the week. And now they're talking about it on The View because they're on Twitter looking at this shit. If we would all just be like, okay, whatever, move on. I want her to talk about healthcare, so I'm going to keep that in the spotlight or in the foreground. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not enough to choose your battles. You have to decide when it's time to choose your battle. Like we can't be fighting on all fronts equally all the time. That makes no sense.
We just don't have.
There's no way everything is that serious or severe.
Now, I'll float out there. I'm of the belief that there are dishonest actors online who jump in the comments or pay for shows, and their goal is to get you to vote against your own best interest based on your assumed principles. So if you're a lefty, they'll find a good sounding left-wing reason for you to vote against your own interest. If you're a right winger, they'll just jangle some keys because it doesn't take much. But the point is, they'll get you to vote for somebody that's going to hurt you.
Yeah, everyone just needs to. I mean, look, cooler heads prevail.
It's just the idea that people are going to sit here in the chat and say, or anywhere, wherever, and say, how dare you vote for genocide? While they're allowing Donald fucking Trump, the guy that said, just fucking end it already, the guy that said, just finish the job. Did you see there was a poll that came out internationally? Wait, how does each country feel about the U.S. election? Israel loves Donald Trump. Israel was the only country on this poll where Donald Trump had anything above 0. Why? Because Israelis, by and large, and I know that this might be offensive to some people, a large amount of the Israeli population, according to a lot of polls, 70+%, are Nazis. They want a complete and total genocide of Palestinians. That's what they've said. That's why in a lot of polls, Israelis support Donald Trump. So the idea that we're going to vote for Jill Stein and then allow Donald Trump to win as a way to stop the genocide is anything. That's not where the voting is. Okay, voting is a different domain. We can stop the genocide in another way, right? We can stop the genocide through a general strike, through any sort of strike. We could maybe change the way that we approach taxation. We could maybe organize a way to, I don't know, like we could boycott certain industries, right? But people can't actually maintain boycotts, actually, let's be honest here. Has anyone been maintaining their boycotts of these fast food companies that have been promoting slavery overseas? Is anyone maintaining boycotts of these vapor cartridges that are mining slave labor with all this fucking shit? People can't follow boycotts. Let's be honest here. People want to fall for the easy scam. And as Jake said, right, people pay a lot. Research and development focus groups, think tanks, they pay a lot of money to find out how to convince people on the edges of the lowest common denominators of certain groups how to vote against their best interest. That's what they do. So they create these arguments that make them think, oh yeah, voting is going to do all these great things. It's going to stop the genocide. Yeah, we're going to stop the genocide by voting. Really? It's that easy? If we could stop the genocide by voting, wouldn't we have stopped the genocide by now? It's almost as if it takes a lot more work to stop a genocide. It's almost as if the last time there was a genocide like this, we had World War II, and that was a fucking large issue. We're not going to vote away a genocide. That's not how it works, okay? You can't vote for Jill Stein and the genocide is over. That's not how it works.
Did you see that they were giving those guys, I don't know if they were Israeli or not, they were giving Trump Torah or a prayer book of some sort. He didn't realize they were gifting it to him. And he's like, did you want me to sign this? And they were like, no, that's for you. But you could also see on their face that they were like, fuck.
Can we have
why is this our champion?
Hour? Can we have a fuck Trump hour now so we can
I would love I've been on the fuck Trump hour for a while.
Oh yeah.
Well, somebody in the chat, it was in my chat. It was where are you, JP? Fun. Who will we blame when Trump is gone? And I think it's kind of funny because so many channels, all their content is 100% anti-Trump, and
God bless them.
I understand that, but really,
the Lord's work.
Post Trump,
they're out of a job.
Who's the next villain?
Kamala. Oh, we have so many.
Kamala.
Yeah, actually,
right, I'm asking you, and I'm getting a little buzz on because I need it.
JD Vance.
Good.
DeSantis.
Yeah, I hate Trump.
I prefer DeSantis.
There's going to be, look, it could be George Latimer. It could be a Democrat. Whoever these Democrats are, the AIPAC are getting elected, they fucking own them
so
now.
Much fun with
Get the picture out of Discord of my congressman,
Those
please.
people will just switch parties and move on. You know what I'm saying?
I did it. First of all right, we gotta air some dirty laundry here. First of all, Sandy in the private chat says, "Fetch the picture of my congressman." Second of all,
Discord.
The word "fetch"
it's assuming a lot. Amazing. Second of all, she correctly guessed my nature. I did.
Oh, you fetched it, baby.
I fetched it. Yes, ma'am. And it's the link that's in there. I put it in there, and it made me laugh while Andrea was saying.
The picture has to go up on the screen.
Hold on, I got it.
It has to. This is my congressman, literally. Just wait.
Literally my
Not
congressman.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Nick,
God.
Limp Dick and Nick. I'm sorry. If that's offensive, I don't care. I actually stopped caring
I
about
care
being
deeply.
offensive
I
years
care
ago.
extremely.
I've entered the age where when you're offensive, they just look at me and say, "Well, she's old."
I can't
She
wait.
doesn't know what she's talking.
I can't wait to hit that age.
Right?
I get people calling me immature.
Oh.
Oh, listen, my own daughter calls me immature. Oh, I didn't tell you this. This is hilarious. So on the trip, I went to Oregon with my daughter and with my mother, and we met for my brother's birthday party. So my daughter spent a few days with me and my older brother, and she just breaks out and says, "You both," and she's screaming, "You and your brother have adult ADHD." She's like, my daughter, I
That's
can't
not how
handle
you
you.
address that, by the way.
Well, that's what she said. Okay.
No,
Is
I'm
there a
saying
difference
yelling
between
that at
adult
somebody is not
ADHD
how
and
you address
child
it.
ADHD?
No, but she was so like to me, it was hilarious. She had to be there. You had to see how she can't take so much input, I guess. And I'm her mother. She dealt with it, but I guess she can't now. She's been away from me for a long time.
Okay,
But it was
this
pretty
is
funny.
your congressman, you said?
Yeah.
Goodbye, monetization. Thank you, Matt. Oh, thank you.
Would you have to cover the good parts?
Oh, what the fuck? I was not ready for that. I thought we were gonna see some guy's face.
No.
So is that a horse vagina? Is that what I saw with my eyeballs?
That's actually my neighbor's newest quarter horse across the street.
And you took that
Fair
picture? I thought
Yes,
you just
because
got that
I'm-
offline.
No, I'm making Trump memes out of it.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay.
And yeah, I took we had a really lovely day the other day. We went hiking and we were with the horses. It was just a great day of my life. So of course I had to use that. Andrea liked the picture. It's in the chat, Andrea. In the private chat or whatever.
Sorry,
Discord.
I'm breaking down.
You can take it. But that is my congressman.
It was funny enough that I was just randomly
getting attacked by the chat. I'm seeing horse genitalia.
Well, I covered it. I made a meme. I'll have to put that in there too.
Oh, Emerald View. I got it with both barrels, let me tell you. I went on there to look for the picture of our congressman. I saw a big old horse vagina.
All right, wait, I gotta find that meme.
Well done.
And people say
that
I'm
is nice.
immature, by the way. Like I'm the immature one.
I'm
Like
completely
motherfuckers are bringing up horse, whatever they are. I don't know what they are.
All right,
And I'm the immature one. I'm sitting here talking about politics. I'm talking about genocide, motherfucker.
Go fetch it, Jake. I put another one in there.
I am dead goddamn
Fetch it.
motherfucking serious. Y'all are calling me immature? These motherfuckers are giggling about horse vaginas.
I blurred it.
I'm going backwards in age.
Give me a goddamn break. I'm the one here talking about the
I'm the most conservative one here right now.
Jake, did you
This motherfucker voted for George Bush, okay?
I'm hesitant to look
Give me
at
a
the chat.
goddamn
No,
break.
I wanted McCain.
better.
In my defense, I wanted McCain.
Oh my God. What? Oh. Well, McCain at least was a decent guy. He really was. He's one
I'm glad
Republican.
We're better off without him. And
No,
once that
stop.
goddamn daughter of his.
All right. Did you get it? Did you get the meme?
Oh yeah.
I don't have Discord open during the
Me neither.
Jake,
I just want to say I have
show.
nothing to do
I
with
can't
this
do it.
back channel. There's a back channel. That's what this is. This is
the
a fucking
back
secret back
channel.
channel. This is not appropriate for anybody. In fact, this shouldn't even be
I'm
live.
not trying to peer pressure you. I'm just acting as your assistant.
These
Matt,
guys are
because
just
I
trying to
appreciate-
build in fucking cliffhangers for season
And notice
one.
I'm the immature one. By the way,
I
these
was
guys have a
wondering-
back
I'll
channel.
take
So-
it, Andrea. Okay, I can revert.
I don't know what I'm
easily.
looking
I
at
just
here.
spent a week with my
Also,
two brothers.
I
Oh,
can answer
was it?
Joe Cool's question, right? I had to see it, so now you got to see it. It's your call whether it actually goes on screen, though, brother man.
It's
And
not,
while you're deciding, okay,
I'm not looking.
I can.
everyone's
answer Joe
already
Cool's
seen it, basically.
question.
I'm not looking. All right.
What policy have Republicans introduced that actually help somebody?
Fair enough. It has been a while. The 13th Amendment
I
definitely
don't
helped.
know,
work.
actually.
No, like
15th Amendment, because that one was more recent.
Is it not a Republican policy? Did it
when
not benefit
was
the working
that?
class?
When was it?
Long ass time, 1865 actually.
Okay, so come on, man. Like That's not the same Republican Party.
Did he
We're
ask?
talking Reagan,
Well,
post
I've never
Reagan.
been a
ask?
Republican, so I
You
wouldn't
know, I
know.
think that's what we're talking
Did he
about.
ask
In the
for a
context
recent
of tonight's
policy?
discussion.
Yeah.
Okay, answer me this: post Reagan.
Post Reagan, I can't think of one.
Well, you see,
Republicans are
Donald
scum. They
Trump
need to
didn't
be
start
done
any
for.
new
Wait,
wars.
that benefited the regular people or benefited
Yeah,
billionaires?
just that were good for people.
Nothing.
Like
Yeah,
that was
literally.
actually a good one.
No,
Like
I
what was
can't.
that?
I can't. I'll look it up. Have the Republicans ever done any good legislation?
Look, Republicans, don't tell me I'm not earnestly trying to make a think about this critically and make a case for you when I can. I am. Look how far I had to dig. Pitchfork's Dragon, we, the left American voters, Americans in general, and also the government, can't stop Bibi's genocide, period. He's just not that into you. True, but we can stop
selling
weapons.
them the
Yep,
fucking
we
bombs
sure
they're using to drop.
We have to
Not to
stop.
mention, before the genocide began, we were selling them weapons that they repurpose and sell on the black market. There's no paper trail. Your tax dollars are going to modified weapons from the US everywhere to our enemies, right?
And the purpose
Everyone
of that
is getting them.
And
The-
did
the
anyone see this
purpose-
dock workers strike, by the way?
Yeah, that whole fucking
specifically went back
phony
to work to support the U.S. shipment of bombs to fucking Israel.
Yeah.
This is another goddamn problem. We have a weak ass fucking labor system in this country. The fact that the dock workers strikers
is
went back to
strengthening,
work
but
to
yeah,
send
that was
goddamn
bad.
bombs to go blow up the fucking limbs off of
We're gonna-
0-year-olds. Give me a fucking break.
We're going to
You're on strike
unionize.
and you're gonna go back to work for that? My God.
We're going to unionize in the South this year. That's my
Hell
prediction
yeah.
for
Okay,
2025.
here's the Republican.
And they
Party.
said
We
it
need
couldn't be done.
strong, consistent, solidarious
dude.
unions.
It's not going to be perfect the first time,
Right.
but
And I think we should strategize around it. Maybe make some sort of a South-based plan.
I put what Republicans
I'll
did
come up
in
with
the
a name
chat.
for it. But thank you, the Letterhack, for getting that.
All
But
right,
no,
Matt.
that's exciting.
Oh.
And we should have the Valley Labor Report on here just to help make that happen.
those guys are
They're
cool.
heroes.
Yeah,
They're
Okay.
rad as hell, dude.
they were on my show once.
Yeah.
Who wasn't?
Who wasn't?
It's a short list.
No one that matters.
Well, I'd like to have Kyle Kalinske on.
Sorry, Gandhi.
There's a couple of people who I will never have on, and I keep thinking people are going to be like, "How come you haven't had these people on yet?"
Are we gonna get Anna Kasparian on? Famed progressive.
I mean,
Does anyone want to talk
my
about that?
God.
Famed progressive.
Yeah.
Super ultra unaligned progressive.
And now everybody's
Home of the
making
progressives,
why I
honestly.
left the left. That gave a lot of good content to
Does
a
anyone want to get
gazillion
some
channels.
mileage out of this one?
Yeah, I'll do
Are
it.
we
What the
1 hour
fuck is-
47? Are we too far in to go through that?
Oh, before we go
Tonight?
further, I do wonder if we should all independently mention signs of a heart attack and then try to see if we can just collapse at once when the vibe feels right. That might be too much work. That might be.
Well, I am on the verge of collapse already, so that's
Wow,
why
how's
you
your
can
health
just
I didn't
feel?
think
act like
I
when
I
I
didn't
collapse,
think I'd
you can
make
take
it
my
an
cue.
hour. I didn't think I'd make it an hour. But now I got a little tiny buzz on. I feel a little bit more energized and better.
Yeah. Yes,
No.
Sage.
I was just considering reading my invite to Anna Kasparian from September 8th online.
Oh,
but
please do.
on air.
Ooh.
But there's no indication it's been seen. There's no
Oh.
way. She unfollowed
Fair.
me of all people on
Well,
social media. Why
so
the
she
fuck would
followed
you
in
do
the
that?
First place. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
But
What is it? What is it about TYT? And I'm not trying to dunk on them. I genuinely want to understand.
I
What
am,
is
by
it
the way.
about them that makes them a factory for right-wing grifters?
They're a
Even
capital.
if
John Iadarola
I can tell you that.
isn't.
I can tell
No,
you.
they're not all. But
I
they
can tell you.
produce
He
a
should
lot.
go. He should go separate and just call himself the
should.
damage report and break away
Yeah.
from them and do it at home, just like many Hassan.
Or he should
Yeah.
stay there because
He gives a good
they
voice.
need fucking
Yeah,
actual progressive voices. Okay, so
true.
I mean, they got,
I can't stand Cenk.
all
I
those
cannot stand
new
him.
right-leaning and right-wing followers and viewers.
They got a fucking
They need to
neo-Nazi on
hear
there. They
Iderola.
got that fucking guy talking about how like we need to
Who?
destroy all fucking
Well, but
Palestinians. That
aren't we
fucking
always,
Nazi prick.
Jake, aren't we always
Who's
talking
that?
about how you gotta
Ben something?
Ben
Nah,
Glebe?
fuck
But
that,
Jake,
yeah.
aren't we always
Leading.
talking about how we gotta
Ben
convince
Glebe.
the right wingers, right? Well, if a bunch
No,
of
that's a
right
good
wingers
point.
are watching TYT right now, they're gonna see
Yeah,
Rashad Ritchie and
I-
John
I was-
Iderola and J.R. Jackson.
I
But
was-
to answer your question,
that's true.
the way their model, I totally disagree with this, by the way. Their model for bringing on new commentators, seeing how many clicks you get, and then getting rid of you if you don't hit enough clicks is for clicks. They're bringing people on for clicks. They're bringing on personalities for clicks, not their views. So anyone could just go on there and fake it, get all the fucking clicks. Now you're popular enough where, like we're saying, why doesn't John Iderola break off? He could do his own thing. They realize they can break off and do their own thing, and that's when they start to shift and go back to, the mask comes off.
Gotcha.
I think that happens a lot. I also think when you bring somebody on and you tell them you're here for clicks, if you don't get enough views and clicks, you're out of here. Then you're going to just attract people who do shit purely for clicks. And Jimmy Dore isn't a right winger. He's doing that shit for clicks.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
He
think
doesn't give a shit about anything.
I think he's absorbed enough.
I don't think that guy has an ideology at all.
But he's absorbed enough of what he's been around that I think that affected him very much.
I don't even know if that's the case. I don't think Dave Rubin has any
How
ideology.
can they live with themselves?
I don't think Matt Walsh has any ideology.
Oh, Matt Walsh has an ideology.
I mean, they might be.
He's fascist. Oh no, Matt Walsh has an
full
ideology.
of hate. You could be full of hate and anti-trans and racist and still not believe like conservative values and right-wing stuff that they profess to believe.
Matt Walsh does. I believe he's the real deal. Because he also has his religious bottom line thing. Where Dave Rubin, he's a grifter. He just likes money, I guess.
I'm fully in the camp that the vast majority of these folks don't believe the stuff they're saying. I'll grant you that if of the folks that are doing the grift, Matt Walsh is a likely true believer or even a possible true believer. But the reason I don't buy it with so many of these folks is because they sidestep issues that they know go against the things they're arguing for, or they'll sidestep.
Give me an example.
These motherfuckers are addicted to they have these podcasts where we're love free speech, we're open to everything, but they never talk about things that matter.
So, for example, like if
they talked about the rage, they're talking about the manufactured rage issues.
Well, for example, when they're talking about, say, January 6th, they won't talk about the fact that all the court cases came back as being like just the election related lawsuits were denied because they were nonsensical. Right. Or they'll choose to ignore the fact that Rudy Giuliani never under oath says the things he says in front of a camera. And it's not like they're unaware of these things because they're told these things all the time. So if they are aware of them, but they refuse to address them, it's with everything they believe they do this. And it speaks to me of their dishonesty. So I don't think they actually believe. They just need their audience to believe.
Yeah,
politics is a social club. They don't give a fuck about any of these outcomes. They just want to have cool friends, and they want to have money. They want to go to the cool parties, and they want to get invited on the cool shows. Yeah. And then after the show's over, we're gonna go have drinks. We're gonna go hang out, man. They don't give a fuck.
My ideology is owning the libs. But I just want to say one thing about, and we'll use Anna Kasparian as an example. Just turn that off.
Yeah.
Just stop paying attention. I mean, if you're spending all of your time being like, did you hear what they said? That's like watching a TV show that you already hate. It's literally that. It's like, It's like, oh my God, you guys, last night I was watching My Big Fat Greek Wedding again. I still really hate that stupid fucking movie. It's not even a
You don't
comedy.
like
It's
the
like
index cure for everything?
It's like, why are you watching it, dude? Well, because the trailer looked good. No, turn that shit. It's not the best analogy, but you see what I'm saying. Just turn it off. Just leave. There are so many options out there. Go to the playlist on my homepage.
Boom.
For interviews.
Subscribe, by the way.
And look at all those options for the people that you could be watching.
Yes, sir.
Trust me. If I bring somebody like Anna Kasparian on, it's not going to be to, own them or debate them. It's going to be like all those other interviews where I ask
an autopsy.
How and why you do what you do in the hopes that they will continue to think about how and why they do what they do after the interview. Because the questions are formed based on previous replies. That's
great shit for a great playlist, my friend. Letterhack interviews are timeless, and they are one of the few things on the left that I will go back and rewatch. Especially the Sam Cedar one. That one was classic, man.
Well, they're never gotchas. They're good interviews. You ask good questions. You are, you get them to talk about these very important issues, and it's well done.
There's, it's funny. I had one of my most popular videos is with Yasmin Aliyah Khan, and I said, "Oh my God, okay. Well, I want to have them back on the show anyway, but obviously, like that's a good thing because the viewers are practically demanding it." No one's watching the second video. They all just keep. I got 500 views on the first video yesterday, and I'm like, watch the next one. Why does that not have? I don't get it. It's like
just the way that the website serves up bull.
Yeah, it's just so weird. But anyway, I'm really proud of the stuff that I do, even if I don't personally think that I'm that good at it. I'm really proud of the content, and I think last Monday night's episode is a perfect example of that. There were large, and Sandy, you were watching live, right? It was. Did you watch, Andrea? I didn't talk.
In the chat.
I didn't talk for a lot of it. I just sat and people were in the chat going, "This host knows how to just sit back and let content be created."
They did. It was great.
He said they were like, "Matt knows how to." They were like, "Just let him cook, Matt." And I was like, "You don't have to tell me."
It was great, and when you did interject, it was just the right timing.
Yeah, it was really fun too. So the clickbaity political thirst trap is amazing, and everyone should go check out their stuff because that content is also timeless. And that's so one motivation for me to have them on was they stopped making recent interviews and I was or episodes, and I was like, no, we need more of that. I'll just have them on. And I knew they would all come on. And I told them beforehand, I was like, it'd be really great if this like sparked something. You guys started doing episodes again. And I'll just tell you that by the end, they're definitely doing that.
That's
and I was like, that's
the brothers from Oasis to come be on an interview together and just leaving a drum set and a guitar plugged in and on stage. It's like, you're here for the interview. You do whatever you want, but that stuff's there.
Andrew is the reason why I know Matt and Sandy, and Matt is the reason why I know Jake. So yes, it is a domino effect. That's what I'm talking about.
And Donald James and I make content together.
Yeah, and I mean, look at these four options right here. You don't need to keep watching the ones that disappoint you over and over.
Exactly.
But yeah, who unfollows me on Twitter? What the fuck is your problem?
I unfollowed you on Twitter.
No, you didn't.
It was an accident. I immediately refollowed you, but it was like 3 a.m. I had to use the bathroom. I was like, let me look at Twitter, and then my thumb hit the button. It was a total. I didn't mean it, but I didn't want to tell you. But then you asked me, and I felt obligated. But I refollowed you immediately. I'm sorry.
Happen. That'd be so funny if you're like, yeah, we should all unfollow each other. I mean, we see each other once a week anyway. I don't need to.
We don't need
know each other every day. It's ridiculous.
Shit. I would like to say though,
social media should work that way.
I would love the platform Anna Kasparian She doesn't need to come on this show, but I would love to have a conversation with her publicly. She's a very interesting person. I mean, I would love to just see how intelligent she is, and
I just
I
want
would
to
love
know
to
what's
ask
going
her.
on.
Yeah, I would love to ask her.
If you went on air as a host at an impressionable age, and there was no lines being drawn between your online presence off air and on air, right? You would eventually submit to essentially audience capture, even without an audience.
You become an
because
Antiquarian.
when you listen to certain people talk, it is me, 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 me. I. This conversation will be self-serving. I have protagonist syndrome. Everyone else is just a bit player in the story of my life. And they're constantly working on the next chapter of their book. You know what I mean?
Speaking of, I've been enjoying quite a bit. Sorry, I just wanted to
It really is. It's like I used to think, and now I'm like, and that doesn't work for me. And it's like, if I'm just listening to you for an hour talk, you don't give a flying fuck about anybody unless they negatively affect your life. That is not how you should roll.
Or arguably
that is not the
positive,
meaning of life. Huh?
But still, point taken.
No, what'd you say?
I don't roll like
Arguably
that. They
positively,
all know me.
unless they
but
affect
I'm saying,
your life.
They're not this person that I'm talking about doesn't speak in a way where they're like, here's all the good things that are happening, unless it's their personal point of view. The only time that they bring up other people affecting them is when they're affected by them in a negative way, like quote unquote homeless people outside of my condominium. Do you know what I'm saying? Like that kind of thing.
I hate when homeless people are existing. How dare they? I'm going to change my entire political worldview because I saw a homeless person.
And maybe right wingers are right when they condemn that kind of. No, why don't we get to the core of the look? We know. I don't have to sit here and preach to the choir, but I think that it gets really weird when you introduce yourself to all of Twitter as somebody who's on air at one of the most popular. It's a gateway for progressives, or it was for so long. It's one of the most popular online platforms, and when your Twitter profile is your personal first and last name, and it's not affiliated with your news outlet, but you're saying things that are both this is me being me, and this is me being my on-air self. There's no lines being drawn there. See what I'm saying? Like that gets fucking weird, man. And
are there any particular ones you want to mention?
This is Anna Kasparian.
It
but
is
I think,
totally Anna, just Anna.
Well, yeah, but like I asked John Idarola about it. I was like, "Is that weird? How's that get?" You know, and he's like, you know, it is weird.
So she's in a way, in a sense, an actress.
No, well, I'm just saying, like, you are this person who's on air all the time, like when you off air. And if you expect people to just sort of assume that you're off air sometimes, well, you're using all of your personal platforms to be this on air personality from this one big news platform. And you can't have all those. This is why I say, if I got up to, and I see people do this and it works. I see people who don't do it and they implode. If you get up to a certain number of subscribers and live viewers, stop going live. Make fucking videos. David Dole did it. Like the Rational National did it. The Humanist Report did it. Vosh didn't do it. How's that working out? So like, there will come a point. I'm serious.
Sandy would know. Speaking of people that would know a lot about how Vaush's internet career is going, Sandy has a very common interest with Vaush. Apparently,
horse asses on screen.
What the climate? He actually did a climate thing the other day. I was kind of like, okay, he did his homework.
Yeah, but he also flashed his horse porn accidentally.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know about that. I don't follow him.
My point is,
I saw it.
Well, you're kindred spirits.
You will be if you're always on. If you're always on air, if you're always engaged in that way and you're playing host, it will get distorted at a point, and you have to back away. You just have to back away. You do. If you want to be the executive producer, cool. All right. Manage the content and the stories. But if you want to be the executive producer and one of the main hosts, I don't know. I feel like that's weird. But there are a lot of people on that channel or that network that need to stay there because if they are truly getting more right-wing viewers, they need to hear those progressives.
Yeah.
And there are some really solid ones.
Astute observation. Very good.
Jordan
Very
Yule.
good.
There's there's a lot of them.
Yeah. Yeah, Matt, that makes 100% good sense.
I think Anna's just trying to get Cenk to fire her or to break with a contract and she gets some sort of buyout. I think that's going to happen.
And then where do you think she'll land?
That's Substack. Fuck, man.
I'm going to go.
I'll put
some
Patreon.
I'll put some money on this. I'll put $1 gentleman's dollar on Anna Kasparian is going to say some increasingly disturbing things over the next couple of, let's say, weeks. And she's going to do so. Actually, she might wait for TYT's election coverage to wrap up. But the point being, I think she wants to get fired so she can have a good story for a right-wing crowd to be like, oh look, I got canceled.
They still let Ben Glebe go on there. I mean,
neo-Nazi
nobody gets fired.
Fucking, like Ben Glebe is a Hitler fanatic.
Awful.
He's a fucking horrendous motherfucker. He's not even a person. He's just like a fucking character. He's a creature of evil. How do you go out there and say, yes, we need to bomb them all? Man, like it's crazy.
Yeah, okay. So I think when it comes to Ben Glebe, I think that they are being highly irresponsible. I see something that is fueled by him having a platform, and it's not healthy to begin with, and it gets even worse. Like, look, I really do look at a lot of this stuff as mental wear and tear. It's stress, and you don't realize it. And it's like I went back and looked at myself when I went on air Friday after I got power back on for a few hours, and I went on air, and I went back and looked at it, and I was like, wow. What was I doing that for? I wanted to do it because I was so bored out of my fucking skull, but at the same time,
you got to recover.
I didn't have to do that.
I wonder if this will. All right, hold up.
I don't watch enough political shows. I do a couple of them, but I don't know, and they're diametrically different. I think Sam Cedar. I'll watch that because they're very good. Their show is very good. But sometimes I watch David Feldman or House Parks. That's about it. Then my girlfriend Nicole has a progressive channel, Nicole Sandler. She's been around a long time. She's met everybody in the rock and roll world. Everyone.
I just hang out with Harvey K.
Well, I've got to learn stuff. I've got to keep up. Yeah. Science changes and new papers come out. I've got to know what my guests are doing.
It's Harvey's 75th birthday today, by the way.
Oh, happy birthday, Harvey. Happy birthday, Harvey.
He'll be on my show a week from Monday.
The link I just dropped in the description is a screenshot I took from when you returned. And I just want to let you know what a bad and petty friend I am. Because my first thought was, he's got the best facial hair now.
Oh, look at that.
And I was delighted that you shaved it down. The petty, small little man in me was so happy that you shaved it back down. Because that was a handsome beard, and I did not like it. I didn't like it.
Oh, handsome beard.
That's
what a face.
Boy.
A little too tan. Yeah. It was rough, man.
What do we have here?
Survived.
What do you mean a little too tan?
I was really outside a lot. I was boiling water on the grill and like shaving what I could.
I forgot it's really warm down there.
I use an electric shaver and a razor, and I didn't have the electric shaver. And when I do my mustache with just a razor, it fucking kills.
You were off-grid living.
Oh yeah,
it's hard to go near the nose with the razor. You're asking a lot.
We were doing laundry and dishes. We came up with a routine which helped us. We came up with a process that gave us a routine which gave us some semblance of comfort. We would, and we had it down, right? My wife would fire up the grill, charcoal. And I have a
Not
new
propane?
grill as of today. Huh?
Not propane?
No. No propane, no lighter fluid. So
No
she would
accessories?
do, huh?
No accessories?
No. And so she would get that going, and then we would make coffee, and then we would have breakfast. It was like whatever was gonna go bad, we're eating that. So it's
Right.
like we're eating weird shit for breakfast, but whatever.
Cottage cheese and mayonnaise. Sure.
No, like Impossible Burgers and
Pickles, peanut butter on a
polenta and
sandwich,
stuff
maybe?
like that. Stuff, dinner stuff to me. And then we would have, or bagels. And then I would start getting the dishes going. So we would boil some water for dishes, and then we would do laundry, which
It
was
was
just
like camping trip.
whatever we needed.
Like
Yeah,
they
and so
said.
here's what I have not been saying. First of all, the town was 100% without power. And it came back on steadily, but that's brutal, right? So to me, camping, I hate it. If somebody wants to give up, I'm not going to give up my fucking house and all my comics and
Right.
my computer and TV
That's
for a
you.
couple of days so I can smell like fucking campfire smoke for weeks. I'm not
You
doing
know,
that. It's
it may
stupid.
happen
Poison
again,
ivy,
Matt.
bugs, other people. It's dumb. I don't want to do it.
Horrible.
So bears, but
I love
if
being
we're going to be out there for
Yeah.
like an undetermined amount of time or a long
Right.
time,
right.
I have knives. I'll do this. I will 100% commit to living outside
If you
it's
have to.
not just for a couple
if
of
you-
fucking days.
Right.
So
If you have to, what you went through is something that's going to happen more often to all Americans. It's going to happen all over the world. These
that's the
things
other
are
thing is you
happening
got to get
because-
used to it.
Well, used to it. You have to prep. You have to learn how to adapt. That's why I always say I think kids really need to learn skills, outdoor skills, living skills, not just be on social media anymore. Kids have to learn how to make things and do things young
help me-
because
help me-
shit's changing.
It should be a part of the school curriculum.
That and
Help me
civics.
figure out what
Civics.
to give up though, because it was like when we were doing laundry, I was like, oh, I'm really just doing undergarments. Like, do we need this? This is a waste of water. Like, how
Undergarment.
savage do we have to get here? See what I'm
Savage.
saying?
Every other day, 2 days. You can.
It's not savage.
No, like, do we need
It's
that
how-
shit at all? I don't
it's
need
how
boxer shorts, right?
3/4 of the
Hey,
world
4
lives.
days. You can wear the same
Like,
one.
shouldn't
4
I
days
just be in a
more often.
loincloth?
I've done it.
We are,
I'll be
we
honest.
are so privileged. Oh my
I
god.
love,
wait.
hey, I've worn the same pair of undies whole week in a
Deodorant?
row. I've done it. I
No
haven't worn
deodorant.
deodorant in years. I don't
Give me
need
some of
that
that
shit.
charcoal.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Charcoal's very good for you in so many ways.
But does
Really
that have
helps with the
accessories? Are there
skin.
charcoal
Not
accessories?
cooked charcoal though.
Jake is like, can I still wear a tie with my loincloth?
Oh, the
Obviously,
tie is
that was
mandatory?
never
Absolutely.
in question. Of course, I'm
Absolutely,
wearing a
of
full
course.
suit. I camp frequently, and
You don't need the underwear.
know
for
what?
The suit,
The
though. Like
most
that's the thing. The
power-
underwear is not required.
The
The,
most
suit.
power I use is when I do these shows. That's the most power I use, I think. During the week, it's definitely low power. Totally low power.
how often is Matt doing laundry though? Do you not have a week's worth of clothes ready to go at any given time?
Benny
We got
Loco's
caught
with
off
us.
guard.
Oh, you got caught off guard.
Friday was
Not
our
like-
laundry day, and that was the first day. And I was like,
Right. So
"Fuck."
when the hurricane
Yeah.
announcement came a week before, you didn't think let's move
and we
up
weren't
laundry.
trying to like make new dirty laundry because when the power comes, we have a septic. You can't use it for a couple of days.
Right, of course.
So
I
it's like,
accept
oh
that.
shit.
Right.
You have to think way ahead in those situations, I guess.
Well,
That's
you'll
one
learn
thing
now.
we learned.
Can
Yeah.
I make a shout out to somebody in the audience whose name
Absolutely.
is Benny Loco, and she's got a new show. Is it 21st Century Suffragettes? A new podcast. Benny Loco, she's cool. I've known
Benny
her for a
Loco,
long
say
time.
your name, your show name, and I'll put it up
Yeah.
on the screen.
Yeah, and it's everybody talking about just stuff that's going on, and it's female oriented, but actually politically, of course. But it's good.
She's already got
just started-
514 subscribers.
Yeah, they just started. So
515.
that's it. 21st Century Suffragettes. I was right. Yay! Okay, so small YouTube channels, we support each other. And that's why we're here, because all of us are small YouTube channels, and that's,
growing. We're
growing,
growing
but
YouTube channel. Don't call us small. Say look, this is just marketing.
Marketing.
Just
I
marketing.
believe in degrowth.
I was yeah, me too.
I
I was
independent
discussing
subscribers
this.
by doing the show. Live in the dream. Goodbye.
I'm happy. I would be afraid, because I deal with these controversial subjects. The channel draws a very diverse bunch of people, and it's sometimes a little overwhelming when you think of getting so many people that are going to have so many diametrically different opinions, and then attack you and for what you think or what you present. This whole thing, taking a walk on the wild side with trying to stop this misinformation and disinformation flying around. You get so much flack from people that are saying to you, well, wait a minute, who's telling you, and in how many years we're going to find out all that misinformation and disinformation was really true. And it's just so much. But right now, the stuff that was flying around was making people's lives miserable, and it was all
Sandy,
lies. It was so sad.
What you said was so true. I was on a debate show recently, and it was like it was easier than just hanging out on my normal show, because a leftist audience, and I say this with love, and I don't want this to change, a leftist audience is like hanging out with the coach from Whiplash. It's a leftist audience.
Yellow M&M.
Yeah, Coach Yellow M&M. They'll fucking kill you. They like you if you're a leftist. You live in war, basically.
Absolutely,
constantly.
Absolutely.
And I love
rough
that.
out here.
But going and talking to like other groups, it's like, oh, you guys don't even think about what you say. This is easy peasy.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I had an office job, I was like, oh, every other thing is like so offensive. You guys are just like making sexist and dirty jokes and using
just sitting here imagining what.
Wait a minute, I was the affirmative action and the EEO officer. What kind of sexy, dirty jokes in the office?
Sexist, not sexy, dirty jokes.
Sexist, dirty jokes in the office.
I didn't even say dirty. I said sexist and
I said it.
Just offensive shit. But
there's a new roundtable, everybody. What is your sexiest dirty joke?
I bet Matt could think of one quick, because he has all those dad jokes.
Let's not repeat this, but or say this out loud, but there is an old term for describing like this is totally racist, and this guy was using it around the office, and I was like, dude, I'm calling you on that.
What was the
think
term?
About how you think about the two words you're blending there. Like he said, he's a blank like Eminem.
Oh.
And I was like, dude, you can't use that fucking word, man. He goes, why not? And I was like, think about the words you're combining to make that. Do you know what word I'm talking about? And I was like, holy shit. I was like, you're in management, dude. What are you fucking...
I'm fucking lost. I'm not racist enough. I don't know what the hell y'all are talking about.
Like a yo boy?
It was something.
I am not really racist.
Really spell it out in front of
you know what?
I don't know what the
like a yo boy. Have you heard yo boy? There's another. This is an older term, like from the 80s and 90s, where I was like, you cannot say that.
Pillsbury Doughboy.
Person here. I am the least racist person in this room. I don't know what the hell you guys are talking about. I got to be honest.
I do. I just really want to.
I don't think we are even on the racism meter. I hope
where he has.
Yeah, it's utilizing the N-word in a way that he thought wasn't doing that. And I was like, you can't modify that word. Yeah.
I mean, it's a good, like, I know that's uncomfortable, but it's like walking around with your fly down.
But
the
he
person
was just
who's willing to tell you is a kind person. It's a kindness to be like, hey, man, when you walk around saying that, there's people in your life, whether you realize it or not, who are cringing. So don't say it.
Exactly.
Yeah, and
Good
please
for
don't
you.
say to my fucking chat either, because I just said I don't want to say the word, and we're going to great lengths to work
Right,
around
not
it.
to say it. We're
Like,
not
don't make
saying
me.
anything
I'm not
icky.
sorry I brought it up
It
because,
was
like,
icky.
I'm trying to explain that outside of like our setting, this space, when you are back in like the real world.
Mhm.
Anything fucking goes still. It was incredible to me. I was like, holy
It's the
shit, you
goddamn
guys can
Wild
say
West out there. It's like
anything,
Red
man.
Dead Redemption.
Well, I must be out of the game for a while because
I was like,
anything's
there's
illegal in our workplaces.
I told this guy, I was like, you are creating a bro culture. And you are acting like it's just a bunch of dudes and you're still in your 20s and you're fucking not. And this is at work and you should be
Hey, I'm
taking
still in my
everyone.
20s. Let's not shit on
But
the
these guys were in
20-year-olds
their
out there.
40s. And I was like, you should be taking other
Whoa.
people into account. Like we have female coworkers here. And they're like, dude, I know them. They're cool. And I was like, it doesn't matter what you think they're okay with.
Dude,
That's
I
there
know
needs
all
to
of
be a
them. They're like
baseline
so
for how
cool.
you act, period. That's
First of all, you're not cool. So if they're chill with what you
Well,
do, they're not cool.
I still have all the baseline books on how to be. They were
Oh,
all
nice.
HR book. Yeah, well, I haven't been in the career, but HR books. That's the one profession that could write a whole chapter or two in a big ass workbook about the baseline. Seriously. And then the resulting laws that went with it. And when you get I mean, it's an incredible industry. It is an industry. It became an industry that the Republicans are actually going to destroy because once they get rid of affirmative action totally, that puts, I mean, it is people work in the industry of making sure that things are done right, as according to the Office of Federal Contract Compliance Programs, the OFCCP, where federal monies are given to contractors. Contractors can be anything from a university to, it's not just like a contractor with a bulldozer. So it's making sure everything is equitable. It's not DEI like the Republicans are trying to say. Diversity, equity, inclusion is not a bad thing. It's a wonderful thing, inherently not terrible.
Right.
And I loved actually working in that area. But there are organizations, there are industries, there's software companies, it will collapse a big segment of society when they eliminate it all. And that's not good because this is a particularly good segment of society.
Yeah, the go-to was, dude, chill out. And I'm like, I'm not uptight. You're the one who is a little too chill if you aren't willing to correct your behavior at all. Like, there is something really wrong with that. I'm not being uptight. I'm telling you that we all need to be more understanding. That's all.
Yeah, just decent human beings. Polite is the you're if you're at work, you're in polite company.
It starts at home. And it starts with parenting, and it starts
Hold on.
school.
It starts with parenting.
Yes, it does.
Hold on. I'm not triggered. I just want to know what this means. If you live in the real world, like, okay, first of all, we all live in the real world. I don't know what you're talking about. Like the world that builds your house, fixes your car, etc. You need to grow up and accept the fact that every person you work with will have ideals that you don't align with your. I don't have to accept that fact. I do live in the real world.
Not if it's offensive.
And I don't know what you mean by you need to grow up. At what point, if asking somebody not to use certain offensive terminology and phrases
at the workplace,
how is that not being grown up?
No, it is. And I'll turn that around and give Hot Dog the generosity of choosing to interpret it this way. Yeah, the guy who was using a slur at work does need to grow up and accept that not everybody is going to be okay with slurs. And if you wanna check your little internal set of rules to see if it's a cool thing to do or not at work, if it's a slur, the answer is no. Because you can't ask people to come to work and get insulted.
It's in all my manuals.
Or make it not fireable to get punched in the mouth.
Asking someone to
that's where the complaint
be professional comes in. On the job. I don't care what your role is. I don't care if you own your own business. I don't care if you're the sole employee. Is not immature. It's not
Yeah,
like a
I
childish
would like
thing to do.
I would like to
Even
say
if you're
just
working in a garage on cars, it's still just be respectful of your
Hot dog,
fellow
I'm not
people.
engaging with that anymore. Have you worked in industry? I don't know. You're assuming a lot of
Hot
bizarre
dog.
stuff with that comment. I'm not
Matt's worked
engaging with it.
everywhere,
I still
and he
don't
tells
know
us
what the
on
You
the
better
word
show
fucking
is.
check
I don't know
yourself. I'm a
what the
worker.
word
the
is.
show
I
Truth
have
or
no
Dare.
idea what's happening. Maybe I'm the least sober person here, but I don't really like what hot dog is about to get unmodded live
No,
on
we're having
We're about to see
interactions.
it happen.
Hot
We're
dog,
about
if
to
you've
see
worked in any of these industries and you've heard people using slurs and you failed to correct them,
Come
I'm
on, man.
disappointed in you. That's what a man has to do. You don't let other people get pushed around just because you want to be a chill dude. You're not being chill.
But do these
You're
workplaces
failing
have
in your responsibilities as
do
an
these
adult.
workplaces have rules and regulations?
There
All
it is.
of them do. All of them have regulations and rules on how to
Yeah.
behave and all
Hot
that.
dog's not here anymore. By the way, unless he goes into one of your
Hot
fucking
dog got
things.
unmodded.
I've
He
never
got
heard of
banned.
hot dog.
Here's the
I
thing.
no
Here's the
longer
thing.
mod for Letterhack. Can we get a new
Who
t-shirt?
was hot dog?
Everyone is allowed to hang out
I'll sell
here. We
those.
can engage in debate,
Except
but
for
if
hot
you're just
dog.
going to
But
start,
don't insult the host
Except for hot dog.
and
Hot
me
dog.
or
Everyone's
Jake.
allowed.
I
Actually.
asked
Yeah.
them not to use that word more than once in the chat,
Oh, I
and they
didn't see it.
did, and that's just bullshit.
Oh
So
shit! I was on the private chat. I didn't
Whereas
see it.
I will kick people out just on whim. Letterhack's got like a theory of operation
And
behind it.
I
I just,
like
if I feel like it, you're
I
gone.
never kick anybody out.
Like
It
hot
takes a
dog
lot.
came in here, became a
'Cause I'm petty.
mod.
he
It
wanted
was
to
like
get
the
booted.
biggest store, like the come up of a
They wanted to
century.
get booted.
Came in here out of nowhere. Like
Hot
I
dog
don't even
said.
know who that was.
a
Hot dog
mod out
said.
of nowhere, and then within a fucking second, gone.
The
Like it was
third
like
thing they said in the chat tonight was "boot me!" exclamation point. So they were cruising for it. But on that note,
you
I
had a
have
little troll there, Letterhead.
that
I
is
have
fucked.
500 moderators on my YouTube channel.
499 apparently. Wow.
I'm gonna look and see what it is. I meant
Oh,
to
it's
do
good to
this
know.
earlier.
Like, I'm glad I get to see what it looks like when people are yelling at the chat room, because normally I'm the one who does that. So I get a
I am not
third
yelling
person
at
view
my
here.
chat room. I am not.
No,
Nobody
I'm doing
has-
that for you, Sandy.
I
I'm
know,
yelling at your
right?
chat.
Yeah, but nobody in my chat room has ever, if they've been, I mean, I hardly ever get any trolls, and I really don't have any. I don't like to yell at my chat. I love having them, but when Matt has somebody he doesn't know and who is obnoxious and ignorant, then that's
And we
fine.
have new people all the time too.
I mean,
love
I
new
have to
people.
say I've banned people before, but people that insulted me in kind of like bad way, not on my content, put it that way. So I ban them. And
Fair.
it's not that often.
Fair.
I don't, and we
Literally
don't. We're
1984.
small enough. We don't get a lot of trolls, which is great, right? And
Yeah.
I have great moderators, of which Gene is one and Looney Tunes is one. But I don't know. Maybe it's weird because I'm trying to remember I just did recently actually ban someone. I have to say I did, but this person was really bothering me about not good shit. So I just said,
Not good.
I'm
Yeah,
done.
I can't
Too old for
remember.
this.
I can't remember where I
Too
found
old
the
for it.
number of moderators. Somewhere I was like counting them one day, and then I was like, "Oh no, they just give you a number right here." I can't find it now.
What are you
I
drinking,
can't
Sandy?
believe. Oh, it was a mix of vitamin water, and the ice cubes melted.
Look, the
Excellent.
reason
I couldn't drink the coffee. It was making me feel like I had cotton mouth.
Sure.
Disgusting.
I'll just say one more
I'm
thing.
almost done with this whole thing.
The reason I make people moderators is because we are a bar for bouncers. If you
Right.
get bounced
True.
from that bar, that is definitely on you, right?
There
so
you go.
everyone that comes in here gets to be on the team, and we all have a chance to regulate ourselves and self-police and all those happy little progressive terms that we use. You all get to do that here, and if you don't want to do it, then
Right.
the other function of my chat is not letting you be here at all.
I
Right?
love
So
our
that's
followers.
just the way YouTube works.
Yeah, I know. I guess being our intimate little channel, I love them. I love every single one of them. At least right now.
What is this?
Like
Hold on.
now, I just can I say something like
What?
now I understand that like obviously we're in different. I think Jake and Sandy might be in the same location. I'm not sure, but I think we're all in different locations. So I
We
don't
have
know.
the same background.
But like I had like
Yeah,
this is like
I
there's just fucking there's
What?
I'm trying to explain it. Like there's this smell going on.
Oh.
Like it's
What would you describe it as?
Leonard
like
Skinner's-
someone has like some they're doing like a barbecue, but there's no
Yeah,
food.
like sulfur almost, or
I
like
don't know,
hair
sulfur.
burning.
charcoal.
But it's like there's like it's like a it's like it's like there's charcoal and it's a grill. It's like it's
My wood stove, which I
That's
stoked up 2 days ago because it
strange.
got chilsky.
it
Do you
kind of
smell
smells
my
like
wood stove?
wheat. You know about
Huh?
you ever smell wheat, like burning wheat?
Yeah, kind of. You know what? A
My
little bit.
jaw hurts.
Okay, what state is this
Does it?
coming from, Andrea?
I feel like my
Oh, don't
jaw
worry about that.
hurts.
Your jaw hurts. Well, that's
Yeah.
that's an
Been
alarming.
talking
symptom.
too much. It's been 2 hours,
What the
2.5
fuck?
hours we've been
What do you
on.
mean your
I
jaw
thought I
hurts?
wouldn't make it
I
an
thought
What's
you
hour.
wrong
were
with your
50 in a
arm,
couple
Jake?
more months.
Is your arm okay?
I don't know. It's just some numbness. Weirdly, I actually can't feel
Carpal tunnel. Ugh,
any.
it's
Maybe.
horrible. It could be. It's overuse. Give it some rest.
I suddenly also feel like
Uh-oh.
heavy
Oh,
Stop it.
chest.
Stop. I
well,
can't
some
breathe.
Like-
tightness. Are you okay,
Oh,
buddy? You,
sweaty
oh yeah, you
too.
look like shortness of breath.
I don't want to do this.
Does this get real
I know
pale?
I'm-
Sandy, we're trying to build up a cliffhanger. Damn it! Trying to end the fucking show.
I got too stoned. All right, wait. I got too stoned. I'm palpitating.
I don't know. I don't know if we could. I don't think we should continue. Definitely don't talk over this stellar intro. Plus, or outro. Plus, it'll ruin cliffhanger, the season 1 cliffhanger, where we all have a heart attack.
I'll drive around to your houses with the paddle pops or whatever.
Yeah, people are gonna have to tune in next week to see if we actually had heart attacks. That was all fake.